Oh, how do I turn that on? Oh, here it is.
Don't need anything at all.
So what time did you go to bed last night?
6 a.m.
Jesus Christ, why am I not surprised?
Technically 7 if I want to be precise, because that's right around why I don't remember anything.
Oh, you are a night guy, so sort of makes sense, I suppose.
Caca, caca.
Ah.
Oh, so Dave, Matrix, you both remember that little fucking weasel tank that I was showing you on War Thunder the other day?
Yeah,
Uh,
the weasel tank.
I've upgraded it, and oh my dear God.
You're having fun with it.
Destroy.
So
Me, just the little speeding across the
there's this other
fucking
guy
lanes.
named Luke that I play with. That's an admin in the Seiko server. We play together a bunch, and we played a bunch last night after y'all got lost.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that I got him aiming for the weasel now. So here.
I'm not surprised.
It's like you just see this last night. Ooh, look, the weasel, and you just like become inspired.
So here's just some of the matches, and if I can find the right one. So there's that one. Not so good one. We had a few that were shit, but
About the time what was it today? I think when I turned the computer on, it said, "Hey, installed War Thunder." Finally.
But yeah. Watch how fucking fast this little bastard is. I'm not even gonna fucking fast forward it. I'm gonna put it into that view. I'm connecting right now.
Why is it picking up?
That doesn't seem real
That's
fast
better.
because I'm going uphill. But getting faster. And I'm off to the races.
I was gonna say that thing's moving pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna hide the sidebars. Yeah, I'm going at 60 kilometers per hour. My speed's up here.
No.
I feel like you need to be blaring eastbound and down while you're driving this thing.
Trust me, that was in my
I'm
head
going
at one point.
eastbound and down.
But wait for it. I was like, I hear something. And I see the top of his turret.
What's that noise? It's a little shitter.
We both just stared at each other for a few seconds. Wait for it, it gets better. So Luke's going for the center of the map. Kind of pushing a little bit toward this way, but yeah.
I gotta shrink the video down because it's getting way too pixelated to see. I can't see shit downrange.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, stream quality, like, not much you can do about it.
Yeah.
Discord stream quality.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, actually, and look who is back! Well, give me a second. You just won't be able to hear audio.
What?
Tell me if this looks a lot better.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. Just until it goes into motion, then it starts getting pixely again. So like it moves in 60 frames, like it's smooth in that area, but it's just like the video quality is like film grain.
That's something Discord needs to work on, is their streaming quality shit.
Yeah, I don't really see them doing that, unfortunately, unless you're paying for like Nitro or some shit, which I don't do, so.
But yeah, I hear something off to the left, and I was like, what the hell does that sound?
Huh? What was that noise?
And wait for it, wait for it.
Oh, at least the chat works. Hi, Nix.
No, that's the battle logs.
No, the Twitch stream.
Ah,
I'm streaming right now. It's just on the starting screen. And he messaged me just a bit ago asking, hey, are you streaming or not? It's like, we will be.
Yeah.
I want to say this is the one.
Healthy breakfast. Chocolate covered raisins.
Acceptable.
Hey, it's got a little fruit in there.
But here you go.
Duh.
Look at the BMP up there. And it's dead.
Yes, Nix, I know. Are you gonna call me and talk to me about this? Well, hey, surprise, my phone's off.
Look at how many enemy tanks.
Oh, excuse the hell out of me.
But yeah,
Well,
this thing is just a
excuse
fucking
me.
menace. Because
Look at I grab what I can eat sometimes. I know it's not the healthiest, but hell, food a little bit.
But yeah, the reason why this thing is a fucking menace is because of this fucking armor belt right fucking here.
You getting high rolls?
I don't want to say.
I hear those dice go and I'm like, ah! Oh, it's not a bag full. Okay, we're good.
No, I already had them pulled out onto my tray here because I'm trying to flatten out my dice tray.
Oh yeah, when the
Yeah, I've been like putting like a weight on it to try and like flatten out the bottom because it kind of sits on a curve, like just a tiny one. And it's not that big of a deal. It's just it's irritating me. Because I would like just like it to be like completely flat, so I'm not.
well, that way you can get some decent rolls too, if you need. Instead of it just goes that way.
The rolls happen as they do. It's not really the tray that's the issue.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But
a
it is
rescuer
annoying.
who shot a South Carolinian man who fell into a lake acted in self-defense.
Okay.
Huh?
So a guy in a boat was going to fucking rescue a man that was drowning and everything. Rescued the guy, got him onto the boat. The guy that was drowning got confrontational, and the rescuer just shot him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, the
okay.
dude tried starting to fight him.
What was he just like pissed drunk or what?
No idea. Not all the details are out.
I'm just starting.
Hmm.
Hang on.
We intended to start earlier by an hour, but life happens, you know.
Some of us die.
Tom.
Yeah, my soul died.
Sure. Excuse me.
This isn't Visor. This is friendly neighborhood demon talking.
Let's see if the icons load up.
Two of them looks like they're loaded up far.
Yeah, taking a second. I do this. Sometimes it refreshes it. Oh wait, I think I need to check his icon. No, it's on the right one. And then it just popped in.
Okay, yeah, Visors is up. Now we're just waiting on yours to.
Yeah, it just takes a moment to show. I don't know what it's doing, but flash it. Sometimes it'll. Okay, it'll load when it loads. It'll just sit there and pulse until it does. I don't know why it's doing it now, but.
Pick up some chips and find huge savings on everything you need for those egg-laying beauties at the Coastal Chick Days sale. Happening now.
Yeah, I'm watching it. Like, it looks like it's trying to load.
Yeah.
The way it's kind of like.
This is the new. It pulses, it loads like that, and I was like, oh. Okay.
So what is this Dice Envy you got pulled up here?
Oh yeah.
Are you looking at the metal dice and all that?
Just a little.
That Dark Matter set does look pretty sweet.
The NFL, your uniforms get dirty.
Tide can handle it, even in cold. Plus, if fans join in, they can save up to $150 on their
Yeah.
Looks like you just made the
Black metal with like gemstone numbering.
Yeah, this is a really nice
That's pretty
set.
sweet. Yeah.
Pull up that one.
Yeah, like I was telling you, I'm
Mostly
looking to
polished.
get like a metal D20 at some point here. Like get like a nice one.
Alright, which one do you want?
Driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you could save for driving.
What's being offered?
We'll take the big one.
Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click
Big
more
Mac,
or visit
food,
allstate.com
fish.
Ooh.
Not available in every
No,
state.
Dave, I didn't teach you.
Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions.
Why not?
If you're gonna offer food, you gotta share with the class.
I don't share. It's my food.
Give me some fries, boy.
No, he shares, just not.
Ever get ASMR food eating on?
Hey Nix, I didn't know you had a set of dice on here.
Hmm?
Yeah, look at
Oh
this
my
second. Yeah.
Let's see what they look like too. Ooh, wow. Shiny.
Oh, apparently there's a dark mode for Roll20 now.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. They just I don't know when they updated this, but they also added in a bunch of new music too, which I've added onto the playlist here, so we might be hearing some new music today.
I'm about to get capped.
I mean, maybe depending on how you play this out.
I feel like being friendly is going to be the death of me.
And by the way, just to kind of get this mentioned and kind of out of the way, Bork is not able to join us today. So because we're trying to accommodate his schedule because he's going back to college and he need to leave today for that sort of stuff, so he's gonna be on hiatus for this episode. He should be back for the next one, And if anything else does come up about that, I'll mention it in the next episode. But we are short a person today, but he's not gone. He's got to step away for personal life reasons. So
No.
He's got to get that education.
life happens, and
What's
the thing is, I also didn't want to delay this another week because we were already delaying this like a couple of weeks already, and it's like I don't really want to push this out any further. So Bork will be back. It's just we're gonna be functioning without him in story for right now. See that hex plate, D100. That's the kind of like.
Yeah, this is actually pretty cool looking too.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, I've like my biggest gripe with that D100 that you send me is that there's no sides on it, so like it easily rolls off the number.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hard to actually see which number it lands on because of how like it's structured. It's like it's too smooth in my opinion.
This one,
Like it feels good to like kind of like have in your hand and kind of roll with, but like it's.
almost looks like you can open this thing up the way this one's designed. I'm like,
Yeah.
Put that man died.
Yeah, like a little
I think this
Millennium
one's newer,
puzzle
'cause-
like D100.
Yeah, there's like, because this one has at least one rating on it. The other one doesn't have any yet.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like, I like those because at least with the plates on there, it'll actually stick on the number that it's supposed to be instead of like where this one it's a little too smooth in my opinion. But it could also be the way my dice tray is kind of sitting too, which is not helping it.
Oh, and then that one I have is bowl shaped, so it'll actually roll it to the middle. That takes it a moment. I'm like,
Yeah, see, like
"Oops."
that would actually be better. It's just like mine,
That's so great, though.
like, yeah, it's the center part of the tray that's like sticking upward, and that's just because it's leather.
Yeah. I'm sitting here looking at these, going,
Yeah. Oh, I
These
see
are
your
metal
your
ones.
icon loaded up.
Yeah, it just takes it a moment for some reason. I
Yeah.
tell it to stay up, but most of the time they don't stay where they're supposed to. But
Yeah. All right, but if we're ready to go, we can get started here whenever you're all
let me
ready.
Switch screen. There we go. Put it on their Velvet Fang website, which I get
Alright.
their Discord messaging.
Yep. So again, if you guys are interested in learning about the game or the content that we use this for, velvetfang.com, velvetfanggames.com, excuse me. You can download their brand new books that they just released for these, and gotta tell you, really enjoying the books. Like, I've been combing through the new player's guide in here. It is leaps and bounds above what the old book used to be. So check it out. Show these guys some love and appreciation. Join their Discord too. But yeah. Hey, Visor. Your Venom little picture?
Mhm.
Would you mind changing back to your character?
Oh.
I just realized
Because
it.
you had on your character the first time, and then I see you changed it.
No, I actually didn't change it.
Well, when you first loaded in, it was your Destiny character.
It
Yeah,
could be
I
worse. It
didn't
could be
change
the
it.
Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
one.
Don't shut up. Don't encourage him.
Oh, but it was funny.
I know. All right.
Oh, kill the music. Ugh. There we go. I don't want to interfere with that. Ta-da.
All right. So let me get notes pulled up here. All right. So, welcome back to episode 20. When we last left our heroes, Uro Shale, Elias Norwood, Theo 11, and their ghost DB, Paradox and Nova, and their newfound friend in Ash 6 and her ghost Dragonfly. The party was separated as Elias was off in the mountains awaiting his meeting with Godhand, while the rest of the party readied themselves to go to the moon. Malachi had radioed the group and was advised of Elias's departure, informing the group that he would handle this and for the rest of the group to make haste to the moon to gather the dark matter that they would require for the fight ahead. Elias met with Godhand and led to some rather hefty revelations. First, Godhand was in fact Elias from the future, a future where the darkness had won, chased off the traveler, and left humanity to its doom. He showed Elias a vision of his past, running from the darkness in a desperate attempt to stay alive. He stumbled across a full Ahamkara skeleton and with a desperate plea wished for incredible speed, a wish that came at the cost of his own ghost. Godhand also revealed what happened to his old fire team as they became scattered to the winds after the darkness won, some of which were not so lucky. Before the meeting could come to its conclusion, though, Malachi transmatted in behind Elias and pulled him out before Godhand could deliver a killing blow. Now faced with an Armageddon in a matter of days, Malachi presents Elias with an offer that he could not refuse: accept his help and train under Julius to take on Godhand and his disciples. Reluctantly, he accepted and began his training under the seemingly young monk. Meanwhile, Eros and the group arrived at the moon and came upon the dark matter facility, only to find that it was being guarded by 2 Hive Knights. After a battle ensued and the Knights were dealt with, the group managed to find 3 remaining samples of dark matter. Eros and Ash were able to bring their samples up on an anti-grav cart and load them into their ships, while Theo stayed back and carried his, and displaying his Titan strength, all on his shoulders. As he made his way down to the hall, Theo and Nova began to hear footsteps. Not the heavy footsteps of the Hive Knights they heard earlier, but of a human. Not taking any chances, they double-timed it to the elevator, only for the weight limit alarm to go off. The figure approached within visual range, wearing a tattered and torn cloak and a face covering, brandishing a cold and glowing green hand cannon. Now with his back to the wall, Theo and Nova must face this new threat. Eros, not taking this lying down, jumps down the elevator shaft to assist. And this is where we will continue the story. Eros, make an acrobatics check with advantage.
Ooh. Right off the bat. Okay. Acrobatics. That one?
Okay, 13. All right, so you grab onto one of the cables as you're sliding down. Now, do you go head first or do you go feet first?
Shoot.
Because this
go
is going to
feet
determine
first.
how well you're. Okay, because I was going to say this is going to determine how well you land.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I go head first, that's gonna hurt.
Well,
I had to think
I mean,
about it. I'm
like I
if
said,
I did,
it depends.
I could, but
Yep.
no, I'm gonna go feet first.
Matrix, wait.
What?
Hashtag yeehaw. Yeehaw.
Yeah.
All right, so you begin to make your descent. And while this is happening, Theo.
Oh my god.
And actually, before we move on, let me actually put on a little music. Theo. The weight limit alarm is still going off. But as you're looking down the hallway, this figure is just barely standing in view. You can see the faint glow of the hand cannon. And you hear a voice coming from the darkness. Surrender the dark matter, or I will kill you.
Well, I wasn't expecting anyone else to be down here. You want this? Yeah?
He raises
I
his
mean,
hand cannon and points it at you. Do you
I mean,
think
hey.
Do you think I'm screwing around here?
I mean, no, considering your quite stylish gun right there. But This is relatively heavy, and this seems to be the only way out. Unless you know of another way, which that I could help you move this, since I mean, I'm able to carry this. Need an extra hand?
He cracks his neck and comes a little more into the light, and you can start to see details to his figure. He's wearing a face covering that goes all the way up to his eyes. It's like a handkerchief that kind of hangs down and is torn and tattered, grayish in color, and you can see his eyes are glowing with a dim but brilliant green color. I'll give you a choice. You leave that sample on the doorstep and you can leave. If you don't, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to take it from you. And as he finishes that sentence, Uros, you've made your way down to the bottom. The maintenance lift, or the maintenance door at the top of the elevator is not open, so you would have to pull it open to get in.
Okay, so
And actually, before you do that, make a quick stealth check to determine how softly you land.
Stealth. Please tell me
Okay.
if that's an advantage because nobody knows I'm there.
Well, actually,
I'm
you know
begging.
what? No, you know what? That's fine because yeah, no one even. I mean, Ash is the only one who technically knows what you just did. So
Yeah, 'cause she
Theo
already
and
passed.
everyone else downstairs has no clue. So I'll accept that for this time. So yeah, you do land silently. You use your double jump to land silently on top of the elevator.
Can I do a perception to see if there's any sort of openings I could go for in this elevator?
Absolutely.
Alright, because I personally wouldn't want to get hand us over. So
And you know what? I was just gonna say, with Nova assisting you on that. Yep, 21. Okay, well,
it's a
you'll
nat
do that.
20. So hell yeah.
Yeah, it is. So, and I actually like the way it looks here with the new dark mode. Actually looks really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
But
is
I
very
digress.
Nice. Yeah.
You do see that there is a maintenance door at the bottom as well. But you would have it's kind of up a little into the right corner, so you would actually have to move a little ways to the right in order to reach the hatch.
It's on the floor or on the ceiling?
The one you can see is on the floor. There's two hatches there for this elevator. There's the one on the bottom so that you can get access to the underneath it, and then there's the one up top. But for brevity's sake, you already knew about the one up top because that was mentioned earlier when you guys first went down into the elevator. So you are aware of both of them. So now, Uros, what are you doing first?
Okay.
Do you
is-
pop the hatch, or what are you trying to do?
Can I? Let me think. I want to open the hatch, but I want to do it. Which way does it open up? How do I ask that question?
So you would have to pull it up, and it'd be pulling to your if you're looking straight at it, you'd be pulling it up to your left in order to open.
Okay. Does the angle that it opens up at? Can I see out the door of the elevator a bit? I'm not looking to see him fully yet because I don't think I could. But yeah, I just want to see.
Based on its position, you're only going to be able to see maybe 2 feet out the elevator shaft door from where you're standing. You have to dip your head into it and look in to be able to look further down the hall.
Okay, no, that's perfectly fine. I'm hoping that he won't see me opening that hatch then. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna open it up.
Okay, make a stealth check to open it quietly.
Oh boy.
14.
14.
Okay. Yep, you got it. So
Yes.
you pull open the hatch, and you do it with a little bit of haste, so it does make a little noise to you, but it doesn't seem to have caught the attention of the assailant in front.
You know what? I'll answer that as soon as the dogs start barking in my ear.
He just looks at you, dog.
It's the other opponent in the
Well,
room that we don't
Close
see.
my door first.
They will get you and you won't know it.
He just looks at the camera confused, like, the fuck? There's a dog?
It's just like he's looking at the
Huh?
hard camera, just like side glance, like, what the fuck?
All right, back. All right. So, you know what? I'll do as you say. Let me just go ahead and I'm just gonna like make it look like that my foot is like stuck, because I mean it'll be a bit more realistic considering the holes in the floor. And it's like,
Yeah, because
uh,
you're putting in indents into the metal floor with each step you took, so you're right.
uh, I seem to be having a bit of trouble. My foot seems to be stuck.
The figure is still
Okay.
holding the cannon to you, and you see he's pointing at your head, and he begins to walk slowly towards you.
I'm a strong guy. Just give me a sec.
He
I'm like,
stops.
I'm whispering to like Nova, is there any way we can get out of this?
Well, we might have a little help above us. And he's you're hearing this in your helmet, by the way. He's like audibly gesturing, like, yeah, we got a little help above us right now.
I come on the comms real quick.
So the figure stops about 15 feet from the doorway, and he's in clear visual of you now, so you can clearly see the details in his robes and his figure. Nova is looking at him, and he's like, that energy in your hand cannon, that's... And then he responds, hive energy? Yes, it is. I took the bones and embedded them into my cannon. Do you see them? Jagged, like thorns. Look well. He takes a few more steps forward. It's gonna be the last thing you see. Does a 16 hit you?
Does 16 hit? No.
He fires a shot. The shot just barely misses your head, but it's not, as it sticks into the wall, you see this is not a normal bullet. This almost looks like some kind of a jagged dagger that just shing pierced the wall right beside you. And you look to your right, just looking at it. It's right there in your face. Drop the dark matter on the floor now.
How close is he right now?
He's about 10 feet.
Oh shit.
Would it be possible to toss the dark matter at him?
Make a strength check.
Oh, okay. That's super.
Okay,
How's
yes.
20 do?
20 is gonna do it. So you take this thing off your shoulder,
So, I'm just like, all right.
and you
And
like
just-
you two hand like yeet it out of the elevator, and you hear this incredibly loud. It echoes throughout the hallway, and the alarm on the elevator stops. What do you do?
So this thing should be. Is this the dark matter like on top of him, or?
No, you basically, with your strength check, you're only able to get it about 5 feet. So you pretty much throw it and it lands in between the two of you.
Can I do something?
What would you like to do?
Can I swing kind of upside down and have an incendiary grenade primed in my hand and flick it toward him through the hatch?
You can.
What would I need to do for that? Acrobatics or strength? I'm not sure. Because I'm just literally
I
going
would
to hang
say-
upside down and go fling.
An acrobatics or an athletics check of
Or
your
athletic-
choice.
I guess I'll just do acrobatics. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, whichever you want to do.
Oh, let's just do this one. Because I'm doing it, he doesn't know I'm there. I'm just like, hi, fling.
That's a natural 1. So, you attempt to hang yourself upside down from the elevator shaft to try and do a little sneaky move. Unfortunately, your ankle doesn't catch the elevator top and you fall into the shaft.
Hi, I'm here.
So Theo, like as you're staring down this new foe, Uros just seemingly just dropped in from the ceiling and lands on the back of his head.
Ow.
You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
No.
And the figure points his gun now down at Uros.
No, he's got 2 targets to deal with. My ass in his direction, though. Because I'm upside.
No, Nova springs to action and goes, nope, and he rushes and smacks himself into the elevator button door, and the doors start to close shut. The figure starts to run into it, to try and catch it. That's a natural 1. So,
He trips on
the
the dark matter.
in the attempt to catch the elevator door, he unfortunately hits his foot on the dark matter and is not able to catch the door in time, so the doors close shut. You hear ping, 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 ping as you see dents into the elevator door as he's firing on it. You see a knife come through between the elevator doors. Is anyone gonna do anything?
If my assumption is gonna be correct, it's in the door. Yes.
Yep, the knife is in
that's
between the doors. So you got a split second to do something here before he might be able to pry it open.
So it's like a grated door, yeah.
No, it's a full metal door.
Okay.
Can we shoot? Well, he couldn't shoot through it, so we
No,
can't
he laid in 4 shots into the door, and they just left major dents into the doors.
Then I have a suggestion. Not sure how well it's gonna work. Hammer to the knife.
do it.
All right.
The other day, I'm like, I don't have anything.
Roll your hammer attack.
Yeah.
Because this isn't really combat, but we're gonna still treat it like an attack anyway.
Yeah. Let me pull out my character sheet again.
I forgot I still have the incendiary
11.
grenade in my hand.
Okay.
I was like, oh shit.
Okay. Yeah. So like because this is really an inanimate object and like this is just an easy target, you basically just take your warhammer and just like slide across the doorway and just break the knife. And Nova's like, he's basically mashing himself on all the buttons, just trying to like hit every button to try and get it to go, and then the elevator starts to slowly move up, and you hear a couple more shots They don't hit anything effective. So you hear the tings of more shots underneath you, but nothing seems to be affected, and the elevator continues to move up. Nova turns to you. What the hell was that? That. Oh, no. Okay.
That's as good as mine.
Nova he kind of like comes to you and he's like, I've never seen anything like that. That was human, but he was filled with such darkness.
He had hive energy.
I've never seen anything like it.
BB, have you ever heard of anything like this? Seems
No, I just got a glimpse of that too, but no, this is something I've never heard of. So the elevator does take a moment or two to go up. But as you're doing this, you hear a radio signal from Dragonfly, and as you're hearing this, you're hearing background gunfire. Guys, we got a new problem. There's a bunch of those hive things. They're up near the door. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Ash says we're gonna lead them off.
Are you sure you can do that?
We don't have a choice, and the comms kind of cut. And as you're beginning to hear the elevator slowly come up to the top, you do faintly hear in the distance an incredibly deep and guttural roar. Above game, you guys would notice this is the same kind of a roar that an ogre makes.
Oh boy.
And the sound just chills you to the bone. And the doors just open up for you. We got at least, and Nova turns back, we got at least 2 samples. I think we should be okay. We gotta get out of here, though. So as the doors open, there's several tracks, like in the moon dust. They're all kind of scattered about. It seems like there might have been a group of them, and they all kind of like turn and lead back out. You're hearing gunfire off in the distance. And Dragonfly goes, we move the ships away, but you call them in, and they'll come pick you up. We got lead these guys away. We'll rendezvous with you and he transmit coordinates to you, Theo. We'll meet you at these coordinates.
Fine.
And the transmission cuts again.
Fuck.
First team down below. Now this. Now what?
DB just chimes in. All right, well, no time for that. We gotta go.
Let's get out
And
of here now.
Yeah, and your ghost takes off to make it to the entrance. So with that, we're gonna move over to Elias.
Oops.
Visor?
I am alive.
Okay. So,
I'm-
you have been training under Julius here for a couple hours now, and you guys are now sitting down to a meal in rest. He hands you a small box, and he sits down cross-legged down kind of in front of you, and he pops open his box, and it's a little Japanese bento meal.
Ooh. I thank him for the meal.
And he gestures for you to sit down and to join him.
Which I do.
Julius will pull out a couple of chopsticks and he just slowly begins to eat. Make a perception check for me.
Things have been changed on my screen.
Yeah, the new update that Roll20 did's kind of it changed up the character sheets too, which I like, but yeah, there's new changes you gotta get used to now.
9, but if it's with advantage, 17.
Oh, there it is. It didn't pop up for me initially. Okay. So you're just looking around as you're eating. This is the first time you've actually taken in looking into your environment. You're kind of sitting in what looks like to be like a rocky outdoor kind of cavernous area. Like you don't really recognize this land, but you're clearly still on Earth. You're looking up at blue skies, the sunrise. You do faintly smell like salts, like you're nearby an ocean somewhere.
Can I identify any types of plants that are nearby?
Make an intelligence for me. See if you recognize the plant life.
Give me 1 second. You said intelligence?
Yep. This will be with advantage.
That is
Oh, you don't
nat
even need
20.
it. You got in that 20. So you do recognize some of the trees here. This is some of the stuff that you would see in the southern hemisphere. You're not exactly sure what continent this would be on, but you do recognize some of the trees and the plant life. It's something, some of the trees seem like they might have been, I'd say, maybe tropical.
Hmm.
Julius
I'm
just
guessing.
kind of looks up at you as you're eating and he just gestures. Thoughts?
I like it here. It's peaceful. Serene would be the better word.
He kind of finishes his meal and puts down the box and stretches his hands out. I trained here many years. This used to be a home for me. And now I extend this to you.
Thank you for your hospitality.
He bows to you slightly.
Kind of like the bowing at the waist type thing because we're both sitting down.
Yeah. Well, just like a slow like a nod to the head, kind of just like a
Yeah.
a very light bow. Do you believe in what he said to you?
Um, what Godhand said? Not particularly.
What part do you?
Because it means that he gave up on his friends. That means there's a massive difference between me and him. I haven't given up on my team. If he's willing to give up on his people that he cares about, instead of standing beside them when they're fighting, it shows that he's nothing like me.
People can change over many years, in which case it could be hundreds of years. Do you believe you cannot change to be more evil than you are now?
If pushed to the wrong circumstances, possible. But still, even in the end, I wouldn't want to abandon them.
I've learned from Malachi over the years that men have the capacity for both good and evil. It's all in how you choose to use it. We have seen users of light become tyrants. It is not as if the light is the designation of good.
Hmm. That is a fair point.
But even if what he says may be true, this is your chance to right those wrongs and to change your fate. Do you believe Malachi is trustworthy? And he kind of sits back, kind of looking at you, studying your reaction.
Trust is earned, not given immediately. So far, he's earned a little bit from me, not a lot. So that shall be remain to be seen so far.
Fair enough. However, I believe you should put a little more faith in him in this moment in time. He fights to save the world just as much as you do. But he cannot do this on his own, so he can give you the tools to do so.
Fair enough.
He stands up from where he's at and he stretches out his back. You hear various cracks and readjusting of his spine as he stretches out. I believe we should begin our next test.
All right.
And he sits down in front of you again in a more meditative position. If you are to think like your opponents, you need to think as fast as your opponent. And if he can move as fast as you say he does, we need to train you to think as fast as he does. To train your body to move without thinking. And he gestures for you to sit in the same
Meditate.
position as he does.
I was saying, like, to meditate.
Yep. He's asking you to join him in a meditation.
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right, so as you do begin, your mind goes back to the meeting, or rather the first action that happens where he yanks you off the mountain. You think back to that moment, and you try to slow it down in your mind. Try to slow it down to the frames where you can actually see him running at you. Make an intelligence check.
Not my strongest suit. You know this. That's a now one.
You struggle to concept with how fast he was moving. And you hear from Julius, calm your thoughts. Breathe deep and slow. He moves like lightning, and you control lightning. You can move as fast as he can. Perhaps not in the same way given to him by magic, but in the mind. You can think as fast as he does. You just have to focus. You replay the very first encounter in your mind when you first fought him. You remember how fast he was moving then, the kind of speed he displayed, overpowering your team. And you work again to slow down that entire fight in your mind, to slow it down to mere frames per second, where you can see him moving so fast, but yet it's within your mind's eye. Make one more intelligence check with advantage now that you've been calmed. 17. Good.
I tell you, roll 20's dice hate me.
Roll 20 doesn't like a lot of people. It seems to be the case, but dice rolls just works that way. But so with that, you are able to slow it down. And you hear from Julius again, remember this feeling. This
Wait a
focus.
minute, how's he speaking?
It's in your mind.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, because he's deaf.
No, he's mute.
Well, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're hearing this in your mind because you're in a meditative state. So you can't see any hand gestures he might be making.
Mhm.
Remember this focus. Remember this feeling. And you feel a hand on your shoulder. And he brings you out of it. He just smiles at you warmly and just taps you on the shoulder. And he points to his head in a remember kind of a gesture. And we will come back to you on that. Eros, Theo,
Yes.
Mhm.
you guys are hearing more of that gunfire off in the distance. You make your way out to the exit and you are able to see several tracks off in the distance. The ships have been moved. Ash's ship is gone. Uros, your ship is kind of like up in a higher, like kind of a flying pattern.
Okay.
But it's ready for you to call down at a moment's notice. What are you doing first?
I think I'm gonna call down the ship to have it down there. And then shoot, I don't really know now. I almost want to kind of follow after and see what's going on. Try and catch up to him a bit.
Okay. So you're only able to, because you're on the
Nice.
dark side of the moon, you're only really able to see about 30 feet in front of you. So all you're
Hmm.
really seeing is tracks and
Yeah.
the distant sound of gunfire. I mean, so you could try to follow the tracks if you want to, but you might be running into a whole horde of them that you might not be ready for. Because
And
there's
we
a
have the
lot of
dark matter.
there's a lot of footprints across the dirt. A lot more than when you started.
Yeah, if we follow, we might be heading into more, and we have the dark matter.
DB
There's no-
chimes in. We have to trust that Ash knows what she's doing and to get herself out of there. She's leading them off for a reason. We have to trust she can get back safely.
Right. There's no point in following.
Mhm.
You'll only be getting yourself killed, if anything.
We've got what we need. We got to get out of here.
Let's go. Let's get going.
All right, so you call down your ship, and yep,
Yeah.
Theo, you call down yours as well. You do, Earls, you got your one sample. Ash has the one in her ship. So at the moment, you'll be arriving with one in hand.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, you do board the ships
Let's
and
get
you
out
do
of here.
take off. And as you do take off, you do see little flashes of light on the ground where you presume Ash is located, and you're seeing little bits of gunfire. But they are moving off away from where the facility was. So she is on the move.
Hopefully she can get away from him. Seems like she's moving fast.
Well, she is a warlock. She would have a low speed advantage on that one.
All right, let's get the Dark Mother back then.
All right, so you both board in your ships, and for brevity's sake, you do take off from
Yep.
the moon without issue. And you guys will take off. Theo, the coordinates that you were given do place you somewhere in Australia. It's a place you've never been to before, but the coordinates would put you somewhere in the central part of Australia.
Seems we're gonna have to rendezvous in Australia for us. Let's drop off and get anything else we need done.
Okay, so as you guys do make your approach on here, you do hear a radio comm come over here. QC, QC.
QC.
Calling any frequency, really. This is Yoros.
Radio check. This is Uro Shale.
Yes.
Confirm flight pattern. Land at these coordinates. And
Okay.
you do see a display for you to land at a certain location.
We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Wait for somebody. On their way, landing at coordinates.
All right, so this does take you to. It seems like it's just a field out in the middle of nowhere, but as you do begin approach, you do see these doors kind of begin to open up in the ground, and dirt kind of seems to slowly fall in as it kind of reveals a hidden hangar underneath the ground. There's enough here for 4 ships, and you're able to land on either one of the pads.
Least.
All right, so you guys do bring your ships in for a landing. And then as you do bring it in, the doors do seal in above you, and there are lights that turn on that do light up the entire hangar area, so you're in comfortable lighting here at this point. And at the very end of the hangar, you do see Malachi kind of standing in the doorway holding his cane, looking up at you guys. And he notices only 2 ships come back, and he starts to walk over to you guys.
I'll examine my shop.
What'd you say?
Great.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I was just gonna say greetings, Malachi.
Hello, where's Ash?
Bit of a mishap there. They were leading away some enemies that were going to ambush us at the door. They told us to rendezvous with them later on.
I see. Did you acquire any samples?
We have 2. One's with Uros, the other one's with Ash. There were 3.
Malachi is kind of scratching his beard a little bit as he approaches you, Theo. You saw him, didn't you?
And no, at least I don't think. Ragged clothes and a glowing gun.
He kind of raises his eyebrow a little bit and goes, "A glowing gun."
Yes, green glowing gun. Eyes green as well.
He said he had the hive energy.
No, Nova actually mentioned hive energy. It was just confirmed that the way he put it is he says he grafted the bones onto his cannon.
Yeah. Nova said that he has hive energy.
Hmm. So the man did escape after all.
Owen?
The man you know is Reza Lazir. He, I'm afraid, I guess for lack of a better term, died up there on that moon. But what came back was the man you saw before you. I've seen
know-
him in many visions. He's a monster of his own making.
I can definitely say he's not very talkative. Then again, actions speak a lot of words, considering you try to shoot me.
He's a very deadly adversary. I would advise you to be more cautious when approaching him going forward. That cannon of his is complicated. He gestures for a couple of people to come over to Uros's ship, and he attempts to offload the dark matter. Do you guys mention at all how heavy it is?
I guess I'll say it. Do you have any sort of gear that helps with dark matter?
You mean the weight?
Yes.
Yes, we have the tools for that. And a
Good,
couple of people do overhear this and just kind of give like a little thumbs up, and they kind of race off to the other side of the hangar.
good, because
It's
it took
heavy.
one of me to carry it, and I was putting dents into the floor.
Yes. The
Yes,
overalls.
dark matter is one of the most heaviest known substances in the universe. And even a small gram of it could weigh literally metric tons.
And my next question now is, why is this dead person want with dark matter? Unless he's working with a specific someone.
I believe they are connected, although it's not entirely sure if he's working with him or just perhaps their interests align. The one known as Reza Lazir used to be a hero, but now he seeks his own form of justice. One that he's decided he would do well on his own.
His own terms.
What he might want with it, I don't know. My purpose for this is in assistance to you all. We need these to create something that's going to even the playing field. The mechanics come back over with an anti-grav cart on there, and they do slide it up to the ship, and they get robotic arms to pull it from the ship and lower it onto the anti-grav cart. And they begin to move it into... Excuse me, they take it over to another room after leaving the hangar. Malachi will kind of gesture you to follow him as he leads you guys out of the hangar.
Hmm. I'm also going to ask the question on, do you have any sort of place that has not so valuable stuff that would be acceptable if they were crushed?
He kind of looks to you. You're saying you have scrap you wish to sell?
It's more of I need to release some tension.
As a matter of fact, there is a place you can take out your aggression. I'll take you there here in a little while. when we re-meet with Elias. And he turns back and begins to walk down the hallway again.
Good.
So he takes you guys through this winding hallway, and you do walk across different little laboratories where there are several people working in each lab. But he leads you into another laboratory. And here there's 3 people working on what appears to be some kind of a chess device. And they bring in the dark matter, kind of just sliding it into the lab. I'm quite glad you were able to acquire more than one piece because it's going to be beneficial for our subject to do a test run.
He'll just have to hold off on getting the other.
That's fine. I trust Ash will return in good hands. She is quite capable. Although a bit rash and sometimes irrational in her thinking, but efficient. I trust she'll bring it in good hands. The scientists do bring the dark matter over, and they begin to suspend it over this device. And you hear them kind of chattering, just like slowly, and they lower the chassis down, and they work to pull the device apart and put the dark matter into this new device. As the dark matter drops in, you see the device begin to light up, and you hear a humming, like a very low humming, like a whoo. And you hear one of the doctors just cry out, "Yes! It works!" Now we just have to make sure we'll have to make sure it's going to be compatible for our new friend here. He goes, "Well, then I guess we're ready to try this out." And he taps on his little wrist and goes, "Contact Julius and have him and Elias meet us into the laboratory here." And you hear just a voice respond back, "Understood."
So who's
Do you remember
exactly
what I
there?
said about evening the playing field?
Yeah.
I can't bring our God Hand here down to our level. But with the help of our scientific friends here and the wonders of the Golden Age, I can temporarily bring him up to his speed. And with you bringing in 2 samples, this helps us because he will get a test run before actually running the real thing. A few moments pass, and Elias, you do rejoin the group with Julius beside you.
You have very terrible timing.
Why?
He caught me right in the middle of a fucking firefight.
I'll deal with it.
But no, we're good.
So yeah, you do see Theo and Eros alive and well, and they were successful in acquiring the dark matter.
Oh, hey, you guys managed to survive without me.
Duh.
I expected Theo to live a lot longer than you or us, honestly.
DB just kind of looks a side glances you like, really?
I'm being a smart ass, chill.
It wasn't quite fun getting a barrel to the head, but still got it.
You're alive, are you not?
Yes, but with one less dark matter.
A partial completion is better than no completion.
I could have had it if I stood my ground. like a bullet or two is gonna take me down.
See, you say that, and yet your instincts was telling you to run, and that's why you're still alive.
I put my hand on Theo's shoulder. We did what was right.
And Nova just kind of chimes in and goes, he was going to kill us if we didn't do what he wanted, and it's better to live and fight another day.
He's going to try to kill us.
Yes, but he probably would have done something. That's why I came down that cable. I knew something was going to happen, even though I didn't help much. Still, we're a team. You can't just take that guy on our own.
So Malachi kind of comes over to you, Elias, and goes, you remember what I told you about evening the playing field?
Mm-hmm.
He gestures to the device sitting on the table. It is a chest harness, kind of, that's got a diamond-like symbol kind of in the middle, and you do see a glowing little dot in the middle. And you can even feel this. You don't have to even do a check for this. You can feel that this device is radiating energy.
Hmm.
I can't put you, or I can't put him on your level, but I'm going to bring you up to his, at least for a short time. And with the good luck of your two gentlemen here, you're going to have a test run before you get to attack the real thing.
I mean, fair enough. I just look at the other two, and look at their ghost specifically, and y'all can go ahead and turn off y'all's fucking recording.
Wasn't
No, I'm
recording, but
looking at the two ghosts of Eros and Theo.
yeah, I'm, as DB is like, DB's like, I wasn't recording.
Oh no, because I know that those two dipshits are gonna tell y'all to record it of what's about to happen.
I mean,
record it
unlike-
anyway.
Unlike a certain person, I do keep secrets.
I'm just looking at Eros. Because he was not quiet at all. Because nobody else was talking in the room.
Right? Just sitting there listening. But no, you're good. Let's just get this over with.
all right, so the harness kind of raises up from the table, and you are able to remove it and put it on.
Alright.
All right, so as you begin to strap the device onto your chest, as it locks in and all the harnesses are in place, your chest begins to feel warm. And you begin to feel like your energy is rising like a fever pitch. Your energy is starting to reach levels that you've never felt before, and it's making you feel incredible. And as you look down at your hands. Time begins to stand still. You look down. You kind of flex your hands a little bit, kind of getting this new feeling, getting adjusted to this sensation. You look up. Everyone's standing still. You turn to Malachi. He's like frozen in time. You think back.
I'm going to attempt to take a step forward.
You take a step forward. No problem. The world around you still seems to be moving incredibly slow. And you look over to Julius, and his eyes are on you. He's not moving, he seems to be frozen in time, but his eyes seem to have followed you. And you remember that feeling that you had in that meditation, that focus. You close your eyes and you begin to think back to that focus, that feeling. And time unfreezes. And your hands are sparking and arcing with your arc energy. You feel like your power has just increased tenfold. It is almost brimming. And Malachi looks over to you and goes, "How do you feel?"
It's kind of unexplainable. Like there is no easy wording for it.
Well then, let's head back outside. And he gestures for everyone to follow him. Do you move back out to the same direction as the training area you were in?
Is that the way that he's going?
You assume that's where he's going because when he says outside, you were out in like an outdoor kind of a area when you were training.
I'm gonna attempt to use that power to get there faster. Just see what happens.
So, as you do, you take off in that same blinding speed that Godhand once had. And everyone just sees this. You guys don't need to roll for this. You see just he's gone. DB just like no way. That's incredible. And DB just like not even thinking, he just immediately just follows after him. Just like he's flying as fast as he can in that direction.
You just hear me on the comms. Oh, I think I'm gonna get motion sick.
No,
Oh.
so
I'm making a joke.
I know. So I was just gonna say, so as you're running, as you start your very first run, this is the most comfortable it's ever been. Like it's effortless how like you're moving at this speed. And as you're moving and as you get outside, do you wait for them or do you just continue to run?
I'm just gonna do. Is there like a lap section or like a trail?
There is. There's kind of a walking path as you make your way outside that just kind of leads to like this outdoor area, and it's massive. Like you're out in the middle of nowhere, just a massive field with some trees scattered about in here, and you have free reign to run over, like run as much as you want in this area.
That's something I want to do. I want to run back inside, grab Uros, and take him outside.
Okay, so as Malachi and Theo and everyone is walking outside, and Uros is trying to catch up to DB. Uros, there's a flash,
Yeah.
and you are reminded immediately of that feeling when Godhand grabbed you and smashed you into the floor.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's all I'm thinking of.
So, Elias, you grab Uros and you are running outside.
I just drop him somewhere in the middle of the forest. Like I set him down and run away.
All right, so yeah, you set him down somewhat gently, not enough to do any damage to him, and you just.
And all I have in my mind is being dragged across the ground. And I'm sitting here getting kind of like
yeah, like you're
off.
you're
like,
grabbing the ground, kind of like PTSD, kind of like no.
Flashbacks.
getting pissed off. It's like Ugh, starting to lose focus.
And Elias, as you're running around and you're getting used to this feeling, you start to feel like you got more power than even this, and you can run even faster.
I'm not gonna attempt that.
Okay, so you avoid the temptation to increase the speed. So at this point, you have free reign to just kind of experiment with the device and how it affects your speed and what you can do with it. What would you like to do first?
At this speed, how long would it take me to get to the last city?
Your measured speed, well, because you haven't clocked your fastest yet, you could technically from well, here's the thing. You don't exactly know where you're at. Theo and Eros know where they're at because of the rendezvous coordinates. You don't know where you're at yet.
Yeah.
But to kind of give you an idea, you feel like you can circumvent the entire globe in less than 30 minutes.
Hmm.
But again, you don't know what your maximum speed is yet, so you don't know, but you feel like
And we don't want to risk me just suddenly losing this power out in the middle of the ocean.
that's one thing. But yes, the speed allows you to move at lightning fast speeds, but it also does affect the rest of your light powers.
Hmm.
And at this point, you have free reign to experiment on that as you wish.
I'm just gonna run the trails
Okay.
until I see that the others have gotten back into that area.
So they approach the kind of open canopy door that leads them out into this area, and you do see Theo and
Dark.
Malachi.
I'm still making my walk back, but I figure I'm taking a jaunt off and taking a look at the view since I've had to walk back.
And Eros, as you're able to see Elias running this distance, and you're watching him just do laps at Mach speed, just flying through, just shoo, shoo, shoo. He's just going, and as you're walking, it's a reminder of what you saw, but at the same time, it's a bit comforting to know it's Elias behind it, not God.
Hmm.
For what little comfort that might be worth to you, it's still.
I just got dragged out into the forest to have a moment of flashing back to being dragged across the concrete. I don't think I'm much comforted right now.
But as you're watching him train and watching him get used to running like this, it's a bit of a relief because it feels you're understanding what Malachi meant when he says even the playing field. And this is at least a bit of a comfort in that regard.
Kind of.
So
I'm
Malachi,
just staying there watching.
Malachi is just he nods to you slightly, but he's watching Elias as he runs.
how long do you think that lasts for with the energy?
He folds his arms and goes, "Well, if he uses it sparingly and if he uses it to a certain degree, it can last for an hour.
Hmm.
But there is also ways for him to turn up that speed and increase it, but he would cut that time down to 30 minutes. But he may need to increase that speed in order to catch up with our assailant. But
Hmm.
this is promising.
So we'll have to keep sure that he uses it sparingly.
It's going to be on him to judge when and how to use it, but yes, he will need to use it at least somewhat sparingly. And because we only have 2 samples of this is going to be his test run, and the second sample will be the actual run. Malachi reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a metal cigarette container. And he pulls out a rolled cigarette. And he lights it up and takes a long drag of it.
After a little bit, I'm gonna just stop right near them and like turn it off so I don't waste the rest of this fucking charge.
Oh, don't worry about using it up. This is your chance to antiquate yourself, excuse me, with everything associated to this. Have fun. And he smiles coyly at you.
Sadly, fun isn't a luxury we can afford.
Well, as I
Rather,
said, there are 3 days until he intends to make his move. And unfortunately, while you gentlemen were out, he made that known to the entire world, and he snaps his fingers and a little holographic display pops up. And you do see God Hand in the window. And excuse me, I thought this was up, but apparently it wasn't. And in the video, you see this message. People of the last city, your guardians have failed you. Your vanguard has failed you. You have 3 days' time to pray to whatever god you wish. This world is going to come to an end and will be reborn.
your voice activation's not working, by the way.
Well, shit.
It's just you talking in a deeper voice.
Oh, it sounds
Okay, I'm gonna have to fix my voice mod then, because it completely messed up my settings for my God Hand voice.
Still work.
Damn it! Well, this is what I get for not doing this for a while. Is I didn't test this out before I did that, so my bad. I will have it fixed for the next time. But he basically relays a message of warning to everyone. And Malachi snaps his fingers and the window closes. He really has a flair for the dramatic.
He does.
Either way, we have a timetable. And during this time, I'll be able to figure out where he is, since I will be able to foresight him and know where he's going to be. Sorry, what were you going to say?
So, by the way, where is Urus? Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not even anywhere
You-
near you. Remember, somebody
you've-
dragged me out.
So, for brevity's sake, you've had time to walk back, and you've been here for the conversation. You've been
I'm
here
gonna
to see
grab
all
him and
this.
take him back out to the forest again.
I'm
Earls,
gonna blow him up.
Make a Constitution save.
Wait, hang on. I got a question.
I'm gonna blow him up.
because if anything, Earls is like 5 feet from me, yeah, or he would be. So we
I'd be close to you. I'd be, like,
Yeah,
near,
I mean, I'd
like,
say you guys
Russell.
would he'd be within kind of
Like a
your
few-
arm's length.
Yeah, like a few
Okay,
feet from you.
Is it possible for me to use my selfless purse?
This would be a surprise move, so you wouldn't
Damn.
have anything prepared.
Uros, the second time he does this, he pulls you out to the forest like that. It kind of churns your stomach a little bit, but not enough to make you vom.
It's not as far this time. It's about half the distance.
Protective light.
I just stay there.
No,
I'm not
no
moving.
damage is done. It's emotional
It's a
damage.
saving throw. It's a saving throw.
Emotional
So, hey,
damage.
it works.
Nope, I just stay there. I'm not moving. I'm just gonna sit there. I'm like, no point.
Before I disappear, I just go, if you delete the footage, I'll take it back.
What footage?
The Rorschach painting. Delete it.
I don't have that. Remember, we didn't record it.
The Rorschach painting? Yeah,
No.
you did.
No, we didn't. We didn't have it
No,
recorded.
the Warshag wasn't painted. The one that was recorded was the
No.
coffin incident.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
that was
coffin
it.
incident.
Yeah,
Then
that was
delete
the
that
box.
one.
Yeah, that was you in the box.
No, I'm fine. I just
I
sit
pick it up
there.
and take it further out.
Still no.
I just leave him out there, and I take his fucking communicator to call it his fucking ship.
I guess as a little thing, there are trees around where me and Malachi are. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of trees that are nearby. There's a little table nearby it too, so it's like a little shaded area where you can sit down and chill.
Any sort of big rocks?
Yes, there are. If you walk out about 60 or 70 feet away from the area, there's a couple of large boulders that are just chilling out there.
I'm just gonna ask. I'm just gonna point towards a boulder and then just ask Malachi, "Do you care about that boulder?"
He just kind of smiles and just shakes his head. He goes, "You go let loose."
All right, Hammer. I'm going towards that fucking boulder with murderous intent.
I'm just gonna.
So
appear at the table with Malachi.
do you take a running start at this boulder, or do you just kind of walk up to it slowly?
Slow and maniacal.
Okay. Roll an attack for me.
18.
Okay. You take your warhammer out and you kind of overhand smash it down as hard as you can, and you shatter a good section of this boulder, cracking the rest of it pretty much right down the middle.
Again.
And it's a loud boom as you bring the hammer down on it with that 10 damage. You pretty much shatter a good portion of the boulder, and anything left of it is just split in half.
Again.
Dust kind of rises up from your area where you laid the hammer down. You kind of sent out a little bit of a shockwave with your impact with that. All right, you won't have to roll for a second one. You look for a couple boulders and you go on a little smash spree. But Elias, you were gonna say something, I thought.
No, I was just saying,
Sure.
appearing next to Malachi, like sitting at the table.
Okay, and Malachi kind of looks at you, goes, "Bring your friend back, please."
I go get her.
No, I'll walk. Thank you.
I don't even give him a choice.
So you grab Eros and you set him gently down at the table.
And I grab his belt and take my knife to his throat. And I go, you do that again, and I will kill you.
I just flick his knife.
Gentlemen, please.
I have your
just-
belt, so at the same speed, I'm not doing the same thing you are
You're sitting across from Malachi and he's tapping on the table. Gentlemen, please.
now. Knife flips toward him. Don't piss me off any more than I am now. I've already gone through enough. And I'm still holding the belt. That gives me some of that ability right now.
Does it?
Because I'm wrapped around it. I got my hand through it.
Yeah, you're not trained for that, so what's gonna happen to him?
Well, I guess we're going to find out, thirdly. Flipped back around.
So, Dave, what happens when he grabs the belt?
So he grabs part of the harness on it, but nothing happens.
I'm still wrapped into it, so that means I get pulled with you.
I said I just flicked your knife.
You could try. How much power can you do? Lots of questions going to be brought up with this one.
I'm gonna
Speed
flick his
worth.
knife as hard as possible. Using
So
the fucking
Malachi just
tools.
kind of puts his head in his chin, just like fist to chin, just kind of sitting there, just kind of tapping, waiting for you two to have this out.
I let
Even
go.
though
Well, we're waiting for you, the DM.
I'm let.
even though I'm at a
So, are
distance,
if you
No.
guys are quite finished with your squabble, can we please discuss the matter at hand?
I let go and I walk away.
We kind of need you here.
I can hear you from here. Dealing with
As
the
you wish.
PTSD moment.
Very well then. The plan is for you to continue to train using this device until you do feel comfortable enough to attempt to match him. While this may not give you the same level of ability, this, as I said, puts you on an even playing field. So the play is going to be this. You are going to take him head on, while the others are going to handle the device. There's likely going to be his disciples there, so we need everyone on their A game. And everyone to trust each other. So I suggest you gentlemen take this time to set aside any squabbles you might have and to learn to trust each other. I shouldn't have to remind you this entire plan hinges on your cooperation and your support. Because if you fail, we all die. And I'd much rather like to live. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions before we go further? He looks to both of you as he says this.
None on my part.
Very well then. He pulls out a tablet and he begins to kind of swipe through a couple of pages. And he pulls an image up and kind of pulls it up into like a 3D holographic image. It's a large cylindrical device that seems to have a large centrifuge and 6 smaller centrifuges surrounding it. My spies have eyes on at least where he intends to build the device, which is why we're going to have a heads up on where he's going to be. However, I've debated if we should bring in some of your vanguard to assist, and he turns to you, Elias. Your leader, master, however you refer to him, this Nikon Lee. Do you believe him trustworthy?
Personally, yes, because he, in a sense, trained Julius.
That was ages ago, and Nikon is a very different man from those times, but if you believe him to be trustworthy, I believe we can shoot him a message and get him to join the fight. Do you have any other ideas of allies you might want to bring into the fight?
There's the kid that I know of. Sounds like a weird thing to say.
A kid.
And for technological standpoint, she's kind of smart. Then there's the other fucking fire team that I'm used to working with. I cannot remember their names. I just remember nobody.
The technician that you mentioned would be Amelia.
Well, no, I remember Amelia.
Then I guess I don't know who you mean as the kid.
That's who I'm talking about as Amelia.
Okay,
the
well
kid.
that's what I was.
Ah,
Yeah, that's what I was like trying to think. Like, is that who you're thinking of then? Okay, so
she would be kind of good to take under Malachi's wing in a sense. for a technical standpoint.
That would
'cause-
be the case. Unfortunately, the one you know as Amelia was one of the ones that was taken.
Son of a bitch.
This
So
still could work to our advantage as she is going to be on site. She may be able to assist us in some way if we are able to find her.
yeah. The only problem is
I suspect because of her intellect, she was likely one of the scientists that were captured to construct this device. Therefore, we may possibly have someone on the inside who might be able to help us in that regard. And he takes another drag of his cigarette.
other than that would be the usual fire team that I work with, and with Noble and God, I can't remember the other two's names off the top of my head.
Ross and Juno.
Yeah, Ross and Juno.
Your other fire team. I'm aware of who Ross and Juno are. They are a unique group, to say the least. However, if you believe they might be of value, any bit of help we can acquire is going to be of great use. The problem that we are going to be having here overall is the simple fact that we need numbers. You, as far as I understand, you have encountered 2 of the disciples. Is that correct?
Personally, yes. No, 3.
3,
There were 3
right?
in that first encounter. 1 didn't fight, remember?
Yep. So, you know of 3 disciples. The unknown variable then will be the other 2 you haven't met or faced yet. Unfortunately, I don't even know who they are, and they have escaped my foresight.
We could talk to the reef.
He kind of cringes at that thought and goes, "The reef isn't exactly the most hospitable to people like me. In
But
fact,
they
I
also want their
think,
Corsairs back.
be that as it may, they have tried to kill me in the past.
We don't have to say you're involved.
If you have a personal contact within the reef, I would say that if you feel it's best, you can certainly give them a try. However, my involvement with them is out of the
Not the
question.
best.
Unfortunately, it's out of the question with them.
Hmm.
So then, we have a few numbers that can join the ranks, and they're going to need to be prepared for the unexpected. That being said, and he looks over to Uros, I can provide you with more weaponry, perhaps better weaponry. I can provide you with whatever it is you might need to assist you in this fight. Provide me a list of your needs and your requests, and I will do my best to accommodate them. Theo, are you still smashing boulders, or are you joining the meeting?
I probably would have joined probably a few seconds later, as
Okay.
probably tired, just dragging hammer.
Malachi kind of looks at you, goes, "Do you feel a little better?"
Much as I can be.
Good. I'm assuming you're caught up on what I've said here.
For the most part.
He nods.
fuck?
Your game?
No, my internet fucking cut out.
Oh.
Oh, believe me, I've been having those issues too.
Yeah, and it just fucking caused me to fucking straight up crash. Thanks, fucking shitty ass internet. We're having somebody apparently come out and look at our shit soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it's bad when your fucking game says server lost.
Well, dude, like the other night where like Discord just crapped out of me for literally no reason. Everything else was running on my internet, just Discord just took an absolute shit. So I get it.
Yeah.
All right. Then I suggest you guys would go and get some rest. You're going to have some time on your hands before the actual encounter here, so do what you need to prepare. And I will assist you with any things that you might want. He kind of sits back and just takes a side of. What can I do to alleviate your tensions?
Who's he talking to?
Well, he's talking to all of you, but he is looking at Uros as he says this.
Being run across and being brought up of a memory that I didn't want to remember did not help. Ash is still out there, even though you say she's capable. I was still a part of the team. But for now, I'd like to get some rest. I'd like to find a place to meditate. Is there somewhere peaceful that I will not get dragged to? That I can do a little meditation.
You have free reign over this entire land. If you want to find yourself a quiet spot in the forest, in the fields, in your ship, wherever you like.
Fine. I
Find
will
where
be
you are most
outside.
comfortable.
I go
And
out.
Malachi just kind of puts his hand on your shoulder before you leave and goes, "Please, do your best to relax. I understand your frustrations, and I understand taking on a leadership role wasn't exactly in your wheelhouse in this moment in time, but I assure you, you can handle this. You are quite capable. You need to just believe in yourself."
Believe in myself. I've only been here for how long? Brought back from dead that I don't even know what is going to happen right now. I just need time to meditate. And I just leave and go outside.
He releases your shoulder without an issue and lets you walk away. He just puts his hand on his wrist and just kind of watches you walk away. He motions to Julius, and Julius kind of walks over to him, and Malachi kind of whispers something subtly to him. And Julius does take off to follow you, quietly. Malachi turns back to you, Elias, and goes, "If you wish to continue training, you can. Otherwise, I would also say take this time to rest for now, and we shall prepare again for tomorrow."
Uh, I would say, how about I go ahead and head to the last city and talk to Nikon and them in person, and I just rest in the ship and then come back here tomorrow.
I would advise against leaving this area at this time.
Okay.
I would suggest contacting him via comms and have him meet you in a discreet location. I can provide a discreet location. Just advise me when and where you want it to be.
Um, just go ahead and give me a location.
He pulls out a little notepad and he writes down a set of coordinates. Tears out the sheet and hands it to you. Have him meet you at these coordinates.
Also gonna try to get the other fire team to come too. So
Gather everyone that you can. Just inform them what's happening and have them ready in the last city. We cannot bring them here for sake of getting this place discovered. We can't consider we cannot have moving traffic through here to tip our hand. Discretion would be best in all situations here. Have them meet them there, and if you need anything else, simply request it. He pats you on the shoulder and he walks away. You just see him make the slow walk back to the entryway into the facility, and the door, which did close as you guys did leave, does pull itself back up, revealing the doorway. And he walks the ramp back down, and the doorway remains open, waiting for you. So at this point, you guys have free reign to kind of do, whatever it is you'd like to do for the next, night here. So if you want to take a rest, if you want to take some time to write up some messages to your comrades, just let me know what you want to do, and consider what you'd like to pick up for any items or anything. And we're going to take a quick little break.
I was gonna say,
Where's the
if Theo's up for it, hand-to-hand combat training, so he can get used to fighting somebody more at a faster speed.
Is that what you guys want to do?
Yep,
Theo?
Sure.
All right.
that's if you're up for it.
Yep, that's up to you guys. That's why I'm asking.
I'm just in a field meditating.
Mm.
What do I need to do the knife thing? Like float it in my
They're
hand
looking
and
over
keep-
code. So
All right. Sorry, what were you're asking about the knife thing? What were you trying to do?
What the hell is my ability? I know it is
floating knife trick thing?
telekinesis. Oh,
You're
psychokinesis. I'm trying
Okay,
to
yeah,
hone my
your
psychokinesis stuff.
psychotelekinesis. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
psychokinesis. I'm like, what is it called?
Gosh, what would we roll for that? I would say in
Put that back on
I'm
the
gonna
screen for a minute.
say intelligence, as you're trying to
So-
focus your mind to do this.
I'd say it'd be a bit of wisdom and intelligence.
Well, yeah,
Where
do
is
either wisdom
intelligence?
or intelligence, and
Wisdom, intelligence.
It gives you more options.
Oh, it's up here.
yeah, wisdom would be up at the top because
It's
it'd be a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, I was just like, duh. Where is it? I don't
Okay.
know what it needs for it, so I'm like,
So your mind is still kind of clouded, and you're focusing on it. You're holding the knife kind of in between your hands on there. You are able to get it to levitate a little bit, but your focus is still quite clouded at the moment. And as you're attempting to do this, make a perception for me.
take a look for it.
Okay.
Scroll this up so I can see it better.
You do hear very subtle, quiet footsteps behind you. Do you turn to face it?
No. I just sit there. What does it you
So
want? That's all I'm gonna say.
the footsteps move towards you slowly, subtly, and the figure walks into view, and it's Julius, hands in pockets, kind of looking over at you. He pulls his hands out of his pockets and begins to use the sign language, asking you, "Do you need help?"
I don't know.
He walks kind of in front of you and sits down in front of you, cross-legged Indian style. Puts his hands kind of on his knees and looks to you and begins to gesture again. You are angry.
Yes.
Your mind is clouded.
Very.
Allow me to help you with this. And he reaches out and kind of with an outstretched hand. And he kind of waves for you to hand him the knife.
I flip it and hand it to him.
He takes it by the handle and observes it, looks at it, kind of flips it, and then puts it in the dirt. Just be at peace. He takes a deep breath and goes into kind of a meditative state, putting his hands together. And he quietly shifts into like a meditative state. Do you join him?
Be at the peace. So while I'm sitting there, I take both my hands and wrap them in each other, making kind of like a yin-yang symbol. Just sit there and close my eyes with them.
You hear subtly in your mind, take 3 deep breaths. You see Julius do this with you. He takes in 3 deep breaths. Still the world around you. Listen to the sounds of the wind. The wind as it blows through the leaves, as it blows across the grass. Find your center. Do you follow him with the meditation?
Yes.
So you begin to feel just the anger and the frustration that you've been feeling begin to just peel away from you like pulling off your armor. Just piece by piece, allowing that stress and that anger to fall away. You're sitting here for about 20 minutes. But at the same time, you feel like you could be here for hours. It's so peaceful and so quiet. You hear the birds chirping in the distance in the trees. The sound of the wind blowing across the field is ever so calming. And as you open your eyes, that blade that was sitting in the dirt is now floating in a circular pattern between you two. And you look over to Julius, and Julius is just looking at you, and he gives you a slow nod. Do you feel better? He gestures.
Yes. Calm, peace.
But there's more that troubles you.
Yes.
You seemed a very different person the first time we met. Apprehensive, quiet. Now, you are angered, frustrated. You seem to let what has happened to you bother you in ways that didn't affect you before, but they do now. Why?
Guilt, failed, reminded.
I have lived for many years. I've seen villages fall. I've seen people turn monsters. I've seen monsters in people. You can be frustrated by this, or you can rise above it to challenge it. He's gonna make a perception on you. After this meditation and after going through this relaxing feeling for half an hour, how do you truly feel?
Sorry, coughing. Oh,
At your core, you're obviously frustrated, but is there anything more to it?
well, we have an advantage, but all it reminds me of is, will it all still happen then? Because if this is the future, at least of Elias, what is to say it's not going to happen still?
Malachi believes that because of who he is now, he may not become who he was or was to become when it comes to this God hand. However, I believe a little differently. I don't believe he will turn into the man that he was, but I believe he may actually become the antithesis of. I believe that with his knowledge, with his time, he will grow to challenge the devil in him. And I believe he can succeed. After training with him in the few hours I have, you learn who people are through their fists. I've only trained with him a few hours, but I do see the good in him. Though he may have a childish, antic side to him, his intentions are still good. He doesn't want to see the world end any more than you do. You should put more trust in him.
Mm.
Have you two not been through a lot together?
We have, but trust is only given so far.
Has he ever betrayed your trust?
I don't know. So far, everything's been fine. But
So
I
why are you
see
so
him
afraid of...
I see him
So,
running that fast. What says it's not going to happen still? It is comforting in one way, but I still see certain things that I am fear of. Anybody can see good in somebody. doesn't mean it's going to happen.
He kind of stands up and kind of gestures for you to stand up and join him. And he begins to walk. Do you follow him?
Yes. Wait, is my
Okay.
knife still floating in the air? Just out of curiosity. I
Um,
didn't want to run into it or.
no, I mean at this point you would have taken that knife and put it
Okay.
away at this point
Okay, good.
since your meditation had ended.
He just
Okay,
accidentally
good.
stabs himself in the leg with the knife.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, oh shit. Sorry, a thought just came to mind. I'm like, wait, is that thing still floating there?
So he leads you kind of out of the forested area a little bit and takes you out to across the field, and it's turned to night at this point, so you do see it's a half moon outside out. A lot of the stars are kind of out. You're able to just kind of see that across the moonlight. And Julius just walks back and he turns back to you and goes, "If he's never betrayed your trust, you shouldn't fear it ever happening. What you should focus more on is you.
Moron.
You are afraid. You're afraid to fail. We're all afraid to fail. But the difference is you take that fear and turn it against it. Fear to focus. It's the only way you'll survive." And he turns back and begins to walk back to the facility. DB kind of has been sitting quietly, like in your backpack, and he just kind of says, I don't want you to be mad, but I think he's right.
I know. But not always. Not the whole thing. I just
No, I
see
know
a
it's
lot.
not the whole thing, but I also know that what eats at you.
So DB, tell me what's eating at me.
He pops out of your backpack and he looks at you straightforward. You're still upset about Stonehorn. You have been carrying this weight since it happened. And you just will not let it go no matter what. And that's the problem. You need to learn to let it go. Yes, it's a painful event that happened, but dwelling on it will never bring anyone back. If you want to honor them, avenge them, however it may be, you cannot do it like this. Well, what did he say? Fear to focus? You need to take that fear and you need to turn it around.
I can
For
only
what
try.
it's worth, I do believe you can do it. I do believe you can win this.
We will see in due time. And yes, I am still upset about Stonehorn. And things being brought up. Having to go back and see it. Yes. Seeing all those people who I've made friends with, who I said I would be there. Yes. I did make a promise. And I failed to keep that. But here, now, there's always two sides to a coin. I'm hoping the one side flips side that wins. And I will work as a team with them. But afterwards, we'll see what happens. Maybe things will get better. Right now, I'm focused enough. I will put my feelings aside. I will be a team member. I will be here. And if they need me, and I need them, I will ask.
DB just kind of nods knowingly at that and goes, I know you will.
Then I take a step closer to him. But if they fuck up in any way, I'm done here. I
Well,
walk
if we
past
fuck
him.
up, then the world dies, so it's not really gonna matter much, is it?
True. And just keep on walking.
He joins you and kind of floats beside you. As much as you may not want to necessarily trust in all of this, you just need to have a little faith. Faith in
Faith.
yourself, faith in your team, faith that things will go the way you want it to. And if it all possible, you will put forth every ounce of energy into making it a reality.
Faith. How long have I been brought back, DB?
Above game, if you're asking me, it's probably been a month.
So I am only so how old then? I've met a queen
You're
I don't know much about, but I am drawn to. I have fought many things already, and now we gotta go save the world. This is interesting. Let's see what happens. But
I
as far as I'm
understand.
concerned,
DB kind of slouches a little bit at that and goes, I know it's a lot to ask because I brought you back and I'm really the one asking you to do all of this because, well, I'm your ghost and you're my guardian. We're a team. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're forced into this without really any choice, and that's kind of on me. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry.
DB, you've only been the only one so far that I feel I can trust.
But
Fully.
I'm also the one who's put you in this entire position by bringing you back.
But I have to understand there is a reason why you brought me back. So there is my faith in you that you brought me back for a reason. I just have to
if you
find
have
out what
faith
that
in
reason
me,
is.
if you have faith in me, then I would ask that you have the same faith and trust in Paradox and Nova and others like me who have brought all of you back because you are able to wield the light. You have the power within you to change the world. It is up to you to decide how you want to do it. And I hope I've guided you on the right path. But that is always up to for you to decide.
Seen some good, seen some bad.
We have. And as bad as it is now, it's only going to get worse, I fear. But for now, let's go get some rest.
Sleep would be nice. Maybe something to eat too.
All right, so you guys go off into the facility. Elias and Theo, let us begin your training session.
Oh god.
So I would like for you to roll initiative, except Elias, you're going to have advantage. Theo's
I-
still faster. Interesting.
I-
I have a
okay,
negative
yeah.
1.
That's okay. Hold on. How is my initiative 3?
That's your
That's
bonus.
your dex. That's
Okay.
Yeah, that's your dex bonus.
my dex bonus is -1.
Gotcha, kid.
All right. So, Theo, do you attack first, or are you going to play defensive?
Well, I mean, the first question was that I was gonna ask was, you found me using my hammer, or should I just use my fist?
I believe you was hand to hand, wasn't it?
He can use whatever he needs to. Because as far as we know, God Hand doesn't use any weapons. So
This is
I
true.
won't either for this.
All right. So,
I'll stick with
Theo.
my hammer.
All right. So you're going for a swing, going for an attack with disadvantage. 19. All right, Elias. You're.
19?
Yep, that's gonna hit. I'm assuming, yes.
Yeah, that, of course.
Okay. So you're kind of standing there observing this. You see the speed. It slows down for you, and you just take the shot. Just. It doesn't really phase you nearly as much as you thought it would. You don't feel anything. You know you took damage, and your shields reflect this, but it didn't feel the same. Not like the same kind of hit you thought it would.
Side note, real quick. Are we still level 6?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yep. Yep. I would have mentioned level change after the last one because of all the changes too. That's gonna be coming up in the next book. So,
Yeah.
all right. So make your attack with advantage.
I'm not gonna actually hit him, but you know what I mean. Like.
So non-lethal.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
I
it
gotcha.
would stop right from hitting him.
Gotcha.
So that would be more dexterity on my part, wouldn't it?
Well, it's still gonna be attack that you're throwing. I don't have a melee. I don't have like a punch ability
You just
for
wanna
you.
call it a.
I believe melee attacks are auto attacks, but it's just D4.
Well, yeah, but it's rolling for the attack. It'd still be a +5, wouldn't it, or a +6?
I actually don't quite remember with fist attack.
Okay, just roll a d20 with your strength advantage. Actually, I don't think you have a strength advantage, but you.
Well, the reason why I'm saying dexterity is because I gotta make sure I don't hit him.
Okay, roll a dex then for me. Let's just see what happens. And yet you'll have advantage on the throw.
Hold on 1 second.
Yep.
Uh,
15.
15. Okay. Let's see. That's actually because it's still gonna be like a melee hit, so it'd be more like a +5. So that's actually gonna be a 17. And would a 17 match you, Mego?
It would match.
Okay. So you see him kind of take up a posture with his fists kind of up, and in just like a snap flash, you see his fist like right in your face, just stopped, like dead cold. Just shoo. Elias, do you do anything following this?
I'm gonna sweep one of his feet out.
Okay. Make athletics for me.
Athletics check. Apparently, I'm fucking.
13.
game-ate me.
Okay. Megu, roll a competing athletics check.
Being
Or an
upright?
athletics throw. Yeah. 15. Okay. You're going kind of back to that same moment when you managed to land that shot on God Hand, and you lift your leg just in time to just dodge the sweep. And you kind of step back again. What's gonna be your next move?
Consider he went for a sweep. Could I match where his leg is at and swing there?
You could attempt to. Roll it with disadvantage. 11. Okay. You attempt to kind of like stomp the leg as he sweeps, but you stomp right into the ground. Elias?
He tried to stomp my leg, right?
Yeah, he was
No,
after he tried to
I
hit
tried
your sweeping leg.
Ah.
Wait, I try to hit it with the hammer, like trying to meet contact.
Oh, so then you're being moved forward. Okay, I'm gonna use that momentum and throw him. Like
Okay.
forward.
Let's see, this would be
It'll be,
a throw would be athletics
it would be
or
athletics, considering I guess it would be a strength check.
Yep, so it'd be strength versus athletics, right?
However, I guess because since he's using momentum against me, I guess
Yep.
it'll be his dex versus my strength.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Perfect. All right, so yep, so Elias is gonna have, or yeah, roll dex with advantage. That was acrobatics.
It would.
Ah. Is it athletics? No, you said it would
No,
be
he
dex.
said dex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
that
be
is my
your
dex.
dex. It's. I meant like dex check, but
Yeah, like
I guess
throw out like a
apparently that
dex
still works.
check. Yeah.
Yeah, that my 3 is my dexterity.
Okay, well, I just saw that one. Okay, so yeah, so 20. All right.
My
So
strength. Nope.
nope. All right, so yep, this is a technique that he knows well from learning under Nikon. Is he uses that momentum and kind of does like a judo hip toss, like grabbing your arm and just kind of tossing you down, just smashing you into the ground. You do take 4 points non-lethal damage. And you are now prone. So I believe you will have to use your movement action to get up before you can attack. Am I understanding prone correct? Because I haven't used prone very much, so I'm
Prone, I would have to
kinda
use my
learning.
movement
So,
to.
I was
extend
gonna
it.
interject. When he's down on the ground, I'm actually gonna move back away from him so he can get back up.
Okay. So after you do the toss, you take a couple of steps back and you assume a defensive posture.
Yep.
All right. Theo, you're up. Or in this case, you're down, needing to get up.
Yep,
I get
so
knocked down.
You're never gonna keep me down.
I'll go ahead and use my movement to stand back up.
All right. How do you get up? Do you just kind of like turn yourself over and push off, or do you kind of like kip up? How do you get yourself back up?
I guess hammer as like as a tool to push myself up.
All right. So do you use the heavier end down? And you just kind of push yourself off the ground.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my shit.
What?
No,
What?
not you.
You and your goddamn video games.
Yeah.
All right. So Theo, you go ahead. You kind of push yourself off in a maneuver to get yourself back up to posture, lifting your hammer up again. Do you go for another attack?
That was a nice throw there.
Thank you. Would my words actually come out in like a blur to him?
No, you can talk in normal speed. It's just your mind is like functioning at a higher level to where you're able to catch things at a faster rate than you did normally.
Okay.
This is why you have an advantage on almost all of your throws and everything that you're doing is because you already have advantage due to this chest harness.
Speed.
Speed, my boy. Alright, so Theo, then throw your next attack.
Yep. Which would just be hammer. I don't want to use anything explosive. So, hammer swing. 14.
14.
My base is 16.
Alright, so yep, you nip back up with the hammer, you come in for another swing.
Extra attack.
Oh
That's
yeah, right.
fine.
I'm sorry, I forgot. You had double attack. So yeah, you can use the momentum of that swing to come back around and try again. Okay, so what you do is kind of like a Warhammer spin. You jump back up, you come in for a swing, you swing the first time, you miss, you use that same momentum, swing back around. You do miss again, but Eros, you're feeling the wind off those hammer throws. He ain't messing
Eros.
around. He's swinging full force.
You mean Elias?
Hmm?
You said Eros.
I'm sorry, Elias.
Yeah, that kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop there. I was like, oh.
Yep, sorry, I'm balancing everything out right now.
Hey, you're good.
Yep. Alright, so yep, you dodge these shots quite easily. Do you go in for your next attack?
I'm actually just gonna dodge him and like keep away.
Alright, so you're just gonna hold your action for his next attack then.
Yep.
Alright. So you just kinda like make the little gesture of come at me, bro.
In a sense, yeah.
Alright. So we'll just kind of cut this short because this could go on forever. So we're just gonna say you guys continue to train like this for the next hour, just matching speed for strength, working it out as much as you can. Megu, you do manage to end up getting at least a couple of shots in, and that's because you're starting to get back that feeling of being able to catch something at really high speed in the way you did with the first encounter with Godhand. So it's starting to come back to you a little bit, like operating at that high level speed, something you kind of feel familiar with when it comes to the Crucible. As you faced off many champions in hand-to-hand combat in the past, this is not anything new to you, but you're starting to get a feel for moving with something at a higher speed.
Alright.
And Nova will actually pop out at the end of this and goes, "You guys did really well. Really proud of you, Theo."
Still need some improvements, but yeah.
Well, it's progress, and take the small victories for what it's worth. Not everything is the Crucible tournament. It can't be, can't be all for everything. All right, so well, you guys are pretty much exhausted at this point, and Elias, you've used about half the charge of the harness at this point with the training session, because you weren't using it at its full capacity. You weren't even really using it at about half. You were just using it to focus in on dodging and just to focus your own mind and getting used to this kind of getting used to the feel, the speed that you're running at. So you start to feel more comfortable in operating in the speed. In fact, even when you're not wearing the harness, you still feel like your mind is still kind of operating at the same level of speed. You feel sharper than you used to. All right. So with that said, do you guys want to go rest at this point, or what would you like to? What would you like you two to do?
The only thing I'm gonna do is contact Nikon and the others to meet me at that location that Malachi gave me.
Okay.
The next day.
All right. So then, for brevity, you guys do go take your rest, and then once morning does come, you do radio out to Nikon for you to meet him at this location.
Bringing those other three with him.
Yep, and to bring Ross, Juno, and Noble 5 along with them.
And I would say any guardians that he does trust.
Okay. All right, and do you tell him anything about in the message about what this is about, or do you just tell him to meet you?
Just really to meet me.
Okay. All right, so you do send the message, and you do get a text response back. Very well. I will see you soon. And so the location is actually about a few hundred miles north of where you're currently located, and you'd be like on the northern edge of Australia, is where the meet location is.
Mm-hmm.
It's along a beach. And how do you approach? Do you take your ship over there? Do you run there? How do you get there?
Do I have any of the charge left on that?
You have
I guess-
about half the charge left. So if you were to take the run from the facility all the way up to the location there, you would use about 5 or 6%, depending on how fast you move. Because if you're running at the normal speed you started out at, you'd only use about 5%. So you'd be down to 45 at the end of that one.
I'll run there.
Okay. All right, so you do make your run there. Nikon and the group are already standing there at the beach waiting for you. They're kind of they got their guns in hand. They're kind of looking around. They're like looking at this as like a potential ambush. And then you come speeding in, sliding across the sand as you make your approach. And
Oh, no, wait.
Nikon and the group all kind of train their guns on you and go, Elias, what is going on?
Well, while the Vanguard has been busy doing what Vanguard does, I've been working with other groups to kill him, in a sense, and stop this bullshit.
He looks at your chest and he sees the glowing piece on your chest piece and he nods and goes, "You really have been busy, haven't you?"
Need to.
He kind of motions for Ross and the others to lower their weapons and go, and Ross just kind of gets beside Nikon and just goes, "Mate, is this what you were talking about all this time? This
Yep.
speedster? And
Yep.
the fuck is that on your chest?"
Dark matter.
Huh?
Dark matter.
Ross just kind of blinks a couple of times at you, like, "You're gonna have to pretend like I don't know what that is."
And talk to you like you're a
In
5-year-old.
fact, don't pretend.
So basically, it's a super high energy source that another group, I'm not gonna tell you because that would be bad. Uh, Basically created this device to help me catch up to God Hand speed.
Nikon kind of like scratches the back of his head, just kind of like a little bit frustration, a little bit thinking, just kind of like, okay.
It's better than nothing.
Better than nothing, yes.
If you fought his speed, you would understand.
Well, there's been many disappearances by someone with lightning fast speed, so that's not you. That's the other one.
Mm-hmm. I literally got this less than 24 hours ago.
Okay. He kind of starts kind of rubbing his hands, trying to think. Okay. You call this
wait, we
here
also
for
know
a
where he is.
reason. That's it then. You know where he is. You know where our people are.
And we need more people to help catch him.
Nikon just kind of calms himself a bit. Tell me what you know.
I just relay everything as much as I can to him.
All right, so for brevity's sake, you relay that you know of the 5 disciples that are likely going to be at the encounter, not counting Godhand. You've advised that you know about the device, what it does, and the amount of time that we have. And based on Godhand's announcement to the world about this happening, you know you have a time frame of when it's going to be, and you know where. So, with that said, Nikon just, excuse me. Nikon takes the information and just, okay. We'll devise a plan on our end then. Since you need us we'll be at the last city when the time comes, we will rendezvous at this point. I will gather what guardians I can. Party included here as well. Ross just goes, yay!
Hey, I trust you 3. I don't trust many others.
I appreciate that, mate, but this is and he kind of walks beside you and he kind of puts his arm around you and kind of like leads you away a little bit and just goes, "You're gonna get us killed for real, aren't you?"
I just look at him and go, and if you don't do this, then you die either way.
He just kind of realizes and goes, okay, fair point."
And you can say goodbye to your friendship with Noble and Juno, or your relationship with Juno. You can say goodbye to everybody in the last
He kind of
city.
glares at you when you say that.
Oh, trust me, I can see the tension in both of y'all's faces.
He kind of looks back, kind of like between your shoulders, and just goes, "Yeah, you need to stop talking about that."
Okay, but whatever it is, I don't care. Everybody's going to die if you do not get this fixed.
Look, I'm not saying I'm not gonna help you, mate. I'm just saying that we're gonna need more firepower, and I hope you have some reliable source and maybe someone who's got access to said firepower. And he's kind of like, "Hey, do you?" He's saying in his own way, like, "Do you happen to have a line for someone who's got some extra guns?"
I could talk to Malachi.
Great, and he just hands you a little pad with a list of weapons on it. Just see what you can do with these.
All right.
And he hands you, as you kind of sift through the list, this is various either pulse rifles, auto rifles, and rocket launchers.
Well, while I get this sorted, how about you do me a favor when you go back to the last city?
All right, what you got?
I can't remember the character's name. The adult survivor from Stonehenge or Stonehorn.
Hang on here. I gotta remember that myself. It's been a long time.
Matrix, do you remember?
Sorry, I was doing some other stuff right
I'm
now.
forgetting the guy.
Jin.
Jin. Yes, thank you,
Oh,
thank you,
I'm sorry.
Jin. Yes.
I asked Ross to check up on Jin.
Oh, yeah, that survivor. Yeah, he's actually up and walking here. I'll go talk to him when I get back. He might actually have some ideas of his own too.
Yeah.
I'll work that out with him. But see, you bring the guns, I'll bring the people. It'll be fun. He just kind of slaps you on the back.
That'd be a nice little party.
Yeah. In an end of the world party, right?
Hey, I mean, we'd be going out with a bang.
Rather do that than sitting around in the last city. But let's do it. He just kind of gives you like a friendly little wink, like, yeah, we're gonna either die trying or we're gonna kick some ass.
Yep.
All right. So with that being said, you've informed the Vanguard. You've got a list of weapons, which we'll work on details outside game as far as what weaponry everyone wants to acquire and everything like that. So
I
we will work on that.
Before though, I want to return to the facility and talk to Malachi for a minute.
Okay. So yeah, after you conclude the meeting with everyone there, you do leave and go back to the facility, and you do go find Malachi, who is sitting in one of the offices in there, currently flipping through some tarot cards.
Um,
Mr. Norwood, how can I help you?
I have a question for you, since you seem to know a lot of different things.
Sure, I'm open to your questions.
You know the facility at Stonehorn, right?
I know a little bit of its history, being a former Golden Age facility that was a testing ground for this said device. Much about that information was lost to the Golden Age when the collapse happened, but I do have some information. Is there something specific?
Not about the facility itself, another area south of it. I kind
There
of.
are many various villages that are scattered throughout the Americas. I'm not really privy to all of them, although I can send someone to investigate the facility.
How many of them do you know that are underground with only a single structure in the middle of a desert?
Outside of the one that we're standing in, there's a few.
Well, it's in America, so.
Right, but the sentiment's all the same. There's still a few facilities out there that are underground that were old Golden Age military facilities from a decade long past. Is there something specific about this in particular location you're looking for?
I was just curious if you knew anything about it, because they were extremely hostile to anybody.
Well, some villages have unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, with the light and some of the guardians being tyrants, they've been kind of victimized over the years, and some people choose to remain solitary. It's not unlike, hmm, long time ago, well before the traveler was ever found, there was talk of ancient villages that housed people that were isolated from the rest of the world. They lived entirely on self-sustaining islands. They took care of themselves and they grew all on their own. It's not as much not like them. They choose to isolate themselves in self-sustaining facilities, only letting a few people inside every year depending on their inclinations. Some may need doctors, some may need medics, some may need mechanics. It depends on what their needs are. If you're trying to reach one of these villages, I would try to appeal to this need.
No.
It is just offered advice. It's not entirely sure that you'd be able to convince them, but appeal to their sensibilities, appeal to their needs, offer them something that they can't refuse. That should at least get your foot in the door. And he continues to kind of go back to his cards.
Also, hand him the list of things that.
Ah, yes. And he takes the pad from you and taps on a couple times to flip through the list. Hmm. Shouldn't be a problem. It hands you back the list.
All right.
I'll have the cases ready in 24 hours. In the meantime, is there anything else that you might be needing?
Not to my knowledge.
Very well. I would suggest to resume your training with Julius for the day. Continue to get used to this speed. The more you have under your belt, the easier it might be for this combat of yours to go on with him.
I'm gonna return to just training with Julius.
All right. So you do leave and you do go find Julius in the facility. So you do go back to continue your training. Uros, um, it is morning time now. You've had a full rest at this point. What would you like to do?
Let's see. I guess go outside and try and do a little meditation again. Nice early morning.
Okay. So you're going to do this before or after Elias leaves for the meeting with the Vanguard? Just so I get the time frame of this right, because if you're going to do this afterwards, then you'll probably be witness to Julius and Eros, or Elias here, excuse me, training.
No, I'll do it before.
Okay. So
is-
you do go back out to in the morning time, just before sunrise, out to the forest out there, and you begin to practice to meditate again. Roll an intelligence with advantage as you meditate.
I do. What'd you need me to roll again? I just heard you say.
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
Savings roll one? Where did
You have just intelligence with advantage.
intelligence? That one?
Yep.
Okay.
13. Okay. All right. So you do feel a little more calm than you were yesterday. And as you attempt to levitate the knife once more, you are able to do it. You focus on the knife, and your eyes just kind of defocus as you're in this meditative state, and the knife just begins to spin as it floats just about a foot above your hands. How long do you stay in your meditation?
I figure about 15 minutes. Not long.
Okay. Yeah, just good enough time to kind of de-stress and kind of just let everything go into a meditative state and relax and calm.
Yep. That's it. Really.
All right. So, yep, you'll grab your knife then, and then do you go back to the facility, or what do you look to do?
I'd like to go check out my ship and that, make sure everything's in order. That way it's up and ready to.
Sure. All right. So you go back to the ship and you begin to do a systems check on it, making sure everything is running, and DB just pops into the cockpit with you. Penny, for your thoughts?
Just
I
making
believe.
sure the ship is running.
Wait, is that the expression, Penny, for your thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it works. Although, who knows?
I'm saying that as DB.
Yes. I don't know. What's a penny?
I don't know, but I've heard the expression many times. It's just what's on your mind?
Just work, thinking, prepare the ship, get a few things maybe ready beforehand. Make sure things ship shape. What does that mean?
Well, that's good. I'm not quite sure how to ask this, but
Just ask,
well,
BB.
do you feel ready for all of this?
Possible end of the world or not? Good question.
Well,
Guess I have to be.
it's I guess I don't I'm that's not exactly how I meant it. It's more of like not thinking the end of the world scenario, but do you feel you're ready for the fight ahead of us? And if you do or you don't, how can I help?
Have to let things go. So I'm trying. That's why I was meditating. I needed some more time. And I feel good enough right now. And I hope to do just a little more beforehand. I wouldn't mind
I
seeing
just
an old face,
I'm
but
and he kind of looks down a little bit and goes, I wish I knew how to help. This is strange to me where this is something I can't just heal. And I I don't know how to help you. And I'm sorry cuz I'm trying.
I don't blame you for anything, DB, and you are trying to do your best. This one is me, not you. But I am getting better. It will take a little bit of time, but we don't have a lot of it. And I have to be ready. We have to be ready. This could be short-lived
Ab-
life again.
About that, I do have a little favor to ask.
No,
Is it possible to acquire some stronger metal materials?
I don't see why not.
Cause and he kind of like looks to his sides a little bit and goes, I think I should maybe upgrade my shell one more time. And I would kind of like some stronger materials if possible.
I agree.
Fuck off.
No.
I'd like it if you did too, because I don't need to lose you.
I don't know what they would have, and I guess I'm not even really sure what I could use, but if there's any kind of stronger material around, I would certainly like to get my hands on, so to speak.
Well, I've got a few things I'd like to get to before all this. We can ask Malachi and see what they have. If we can upgrade you to something a little heavier, that would be good.
I was thinking lighter but stronger.
That too. Maneuverability?
Gonna kind of need that.
Duh. You are a unique one.
Mr. Grinch.
Hmm.
All right. So that being said, uh, you guys will go off to see Malachi as far as your acquisitions. Theo,
Yep.
you and Nova do get a long rest as well. You do kind of take your sleep, and Nova just kind of floats over to you and goes, "How you feeling?"
Physically all right.
And emotionally, he kind of leans in on that question.
Could be better.
Well, which part is really bothering you? The speedster or the other guy?
Well, both are hitting pretty hard.
Yeah, and he kind of floats beside you, like almost kind of like sitting next to you. He goes, we've never really faced anything like this before. This is, well, I'd say unique, but I feel like it's not strong enough of a word. It's, well, I guess for lack of a better term, crazy. But as crazy as everything is and the way everything's kind of going, I do feel we legitimately have a chance.
The weird part about it all is that for both of those, it felt like an outburst needed to happen out of me, and I don't know the intention of why.
I was looking into that name Rezel Azir, and I kind of figured out why there would be the connection between you and him, and it's because you're both Crucible champions, or at least he used to be. Long before you were reborn, there was another Crucible champion. He was a Titan, much like you. He was dominant in the Crucible. No one could touch him, but the rumor is that the he grew tired of the Crucible and sought off to fight bigger challenges out in the world, and some people thought that might have been a good thing. He's going off to fight more evil in the world, an evil maybe even stronger than he's ever faced. And if that's him, I fear he fell into something bigger than himself and he came out different. That cannon that he held, that power in his hand, I know you felt like you might have had a chance against him, but I warn you that weapon is more dangerous than anything we've ever faced. That energy that it possessed, it felt like it could swallow my light whole. And I've never. And he kind of. Nova kind of looks down at this as he says this. I've never been more afraid for myself and for you in my existence.
I know you made the right call on getting us out of there, though I just felt like I could have done a bit more.
I think you're gonna have your chance. Because I do have a feeling they are connected in ways that wasn't ever mentioned. I fear we are going to cross him again one day, and I just hope. I hope we're both strong enough to face him.
Oh, I think we will be. And if not, let's just drag him down to our level. Anyway, there is a bit of researching we have to do, as I'm just going to pull out
Right.
the hard drive.
He goes, all right, let's take a look and see what we got.
If we can find any sort of back door for this project, we could find a way to deactivate the device before it could be initiated. So any lead could be a good lead.
A kill switch or a fail safe, anything that could potentially shut it down. I agree. Well, we do have the schematics of the device. I'm just gonna need to take some time to comb through it and see if I can make heads or tails of it all.
I'll make
I'll
sure to assist as much as I can as well.
All right. And you see Nova go over to the drive and begin to scan it and begins to siphon the data from the drive itself.
I guess I'm gonna plug myself
This
in.
might take me a few hours, but I'll work on this while you're doing other stuff.
You sure? I don't mind plugging myself in.
I mean, if you want to as well. I mean, I guess two sets of eyes, so to speak, would be better than one. Did you want to assist him in the research then, or did you have anything else in mind?
Actually, there is something I have in mind, and that's with Malagos.
Sorry, it was with what?
Um, I do have a bit of a question, or questions possibly, for someone who can see ahead of time, to say.
Oh, so you want to go talk to Malachi?
Yeah.
Okay, you just said that. Yeah. All right. So
To
yeah.
be honest, I forgot the name.
Okay. Okay. No worries. Yeah. All right. So yeah, you do go find Malachi in his office. He's still sitting there with the tarot cards. He's kind of just focused on the cards itself, and looks up to you. Go. Yes, Theo. How may I help you?
Well, I do have a bit of questions on the future that could be possible, though I know it could be limited to you. And
Well, if you're asking me to read your fortune, I suppose that's entirely possible. He gestures for you to sit in front of him.
so,
So he takes all the tarot cards and shuffles the deck. I want you to think about the future. How do you envision your future? What is it you see? What is it you think you see? And allow it to play out in your mind.
which I guess what I have planned in my mind is a, I guess, me being successful within the nearing combat, being with God Hand, and not being successful in the case of winning, but in defending.
He kind of looks at you a little pointedly and goes, "Are you asking me if you're going to survive the encounter? If that's the question, then I'm afraid I can't answer that with."
No, I I don't care if I live, just the other two. I'll even just one.
Malachi just kind of sets the deck down on the desk in front of him and goes, "The future is clouded on this, but I see two outcomes. One, we succeed, and one where we fail. It is literally at the flip of a coin at this point, but if it weren't for what we have done and the acquisitions we have made, the steps we have taken, we've at least improved our odds." I'd like to say we will succeed. That is at least my hope, obviously. But it hinges on so much. It hinges on your team, the Guardians you gather, who all will be there at the fight. And more importantly, it will also depend on Elias.
Uh,
To that end, I know you've assisted in training him, and I would ask you to continue to do so because it not only helps him, it seems to be helping you as well.
Well, any step closer to being on match, better than nothing.
At least
And I
being
guess,
unmatched gives you the opportunity to, at least gives you the better chance of winning. The odds are no longer stacked against you, but rather an even playing field. But you should be familiar with this. You've been in Crucible matches pretty much the majority of your career. Tell me something. There's something I need to know about you. Why is it that you decide to step away from the Crucible for this? You had no idea what was coming before it, but yet you could have chose to stay in the Crucible and continue to live your happy life. What made you step out of it?
why did I do ask that I ask myself that quite a bit as well. Uh,
You seemed quite content being champion. You were set to do it again. I must admit, you have won me a fair amount of glimmer on your matches as well. You are quite the formidable opponent.
honestly, I wouldn't quite know why I dropped out for the time being. Call to adventure, call to help the people. Possibly reveal a bit of truth behind, well, whatever makes of me.
A bit of self reflection, as it were. I can understand that. I can also appreciate that.
Feels
Sometimes you
as
have to leave your comfort zone in order to find out who we truly are.
I don't know
And
why. It just feels like I need to help the people's call. Not out of wanting to, but it feels as if it's a need that needs to happen.
so you are compelled to.
I do not know what compels me to do so, but I do get a sense that is not nice from it.
Perhaps this feeling, this compelling to fight, may be associated to who you once were. I understand you've been reset a number of times.
Reset?
Do you know why you're called Theo 11?
Not, not really.
The number the
I
number
just go by
11.
Theo.
The number 11 is associated to how many times someone such as yourself has been, I guess, shall we say, mind wiped, clean slate. I realize you're not comfortable with yourself, but I believe it might be time to accept who you truly are. As frustrating as that might feel to you, as angry as that might make you, I think it's best to come to terms. Theo, when was the last time you've ever looked into a mirror? And I don't mean figuratively, I mean when is the last time you have seen yourself?
I couldn't possibly say.
He slowly rises up from the desk and he walks over to a little section kind of along the wall there, and he slides open a glass pane and reveals a mirror. Will you come here and see yourself?
Go and stand up. Go to the mirror.
So you're still wearing your full armor at this point. You walk over to the mirror. He asks you, I want you to look hard. Past the armor to what's down at your core. You have been at war with yourself for so long. I want to help you escape that. Because I believe if you can accept who you truly are deep down, you can become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Look at yourself. You're a champion, fighter, a warrior. That doesn't define who you are as a person, as a being, an entity. That's the traits of a human being. And it doesn't matter if you have skin or muscle or oil and machine. What matters is who you are at your core. I've known many of your kind to struggle with humanity and to struggle with what they come to grips of who they are. I do not wish the same for you. There are others like you who have learned to accept what they are because you cannot change it. You can hide behind masks, cover yourself in cloth to hide who you truly are, but in the end, accepting who you are is your greatest strength. Wear it like armor, and they can never hurt you. You have come such a long way from the crucible to fighting demons and devils that rightly shouldn't exist in this world. But what's holding you back is this. And he taps on your chest. Take the time to really look at yourself here. He kind of just places his hand on your shoulder. He kind of has to reach up to you a little bit because you are much taller than he is, and he just pats you on the shoulder. Take your time. I can guide you if you wish. And he just walks out the room and he leaves you to reflect upon yourself. So at this point, does anyone want to do anything else before we end the session?
I'm just getting whatever materials are needed.
Yep, like I said, we're going to deal with all of that out of game because that's going to take a long time to acquire all the listings. So,
Yep.
all right, well, if that is everything, we're going to end the session here. And next time we're going to, well, let's see. We'll probably be probably for brevity's sake, we're probably just gonna skip to the actual day of, just so we can get into it.
Just gonna be
Um,
mega more training and Uros if he does
Yeah,
that.
we're just for brevity, we're just gonna say all this is happening, just above games, so we're not gonna be, just a repeat of this episode. So,
Just to push it to the limit.
yep, we're gonna get into this final countdown, guys. We're gonna get into it for real, and it's gonna be a wild, wild ride.
Matrix, you know you're muted, right?
That's because I wasn't at my desk for a moment. I was over listening through the headset and I couldn't respond. I just
That's
got back
okay.
to
I
the
thought
desk.
you might have been trying to
I
talk
was
and
moving
didn't
some
realize you were
stuff.
muted.
No,
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
just
here,
now
sorry.
reading Nix's messages. I didn't have chat open at all when I was going through this, but
Yeah, she's just messaging me on and off too, and then
yep.
he's not there now, but it's like
Yeah. I've been going through the messages as we're doing this here, but yeah. And it is toasty in my room here. Oh.
it's cold here.
Well, thing is, like, doing all of this, like, I have to get into character quite a bit, and like, yeah, I get pretty worked up doing this sometimes. Whew. So how you guys feeling? What are you guys thinking?
Then we might be able to do it.
Our ass is gonna get kicked.
Huh?
Huh?
What'd you say? I didn't catch all
Our ass
that.
is gonna get kicked.
Get your
Asses
ass.
are gonna get kicked one way or another. It's gonna be amazing. Ah.
Let's see. Where to kill it. Past episodes on the YouTube channel. Look for the link below. Dave's link is up there, but it's also a link down below. And anybody else got anything they want to plug?
I'm still streaming off and on. Definitely on Mondays for sure. I'm still kind of in between looking for work, so I might do a little more streaming here. Either going to be Cyberpunk or WWE 2K22. I'm just doing it just for shits and giggles. So
yeah, I still want to see it.
yeah, I might do another character creation stream. Just come up with some new guys.
And I may be doing a box opening later tonight, but I don't know if I will be. So I gotta do some stuff, like go to work real quick and do some stuff after. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Because I was planning on doing it yesterday, but things didn't happen the way I wanted to. So we're gonna see about that. And that's only if I can find something. So. Yeah, you two, the other two, do you got anything you guys want to plug at all? Anything?
Nah, I'm a nobody.
Be a
Mr.
somebody.
Nobody. Mr.
Be a
Nobody,
somebody.
we're gonna stream the hell out of everything he does, just so that he gets attention. And then the other
Just
one's
that-
playing a game, so
Yep, we'll get Bork back in here for the next episode, and
yep. College life.
yeah, I remember that life quite well myself.
But anyway,
Except he's actually going to college where
An
I took
actual
online classes, so he's got that up on me.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people are.
Yeah,
take it
yeah,
online.
but yeah, we'll get him back in here, and yeah, like I said, this is gonna be arc 1, our ending to the first arc of this everlong campaign that we'll see where it goes.
Yep, and you can always go to Velvet Fang Dungeons and Destinies website where you can get the materials and all the goody stuff under content.
By the way, Matrix, did you maybe want to talk a little bit about another campaign that might be coming up in the future?
I've mentioned
I'm
the
gonna go
future.
pass out.
No, you're not. You got to run 3 miles.
Now.
Yeah.
Bye.
There you
Have
go.
have a good night, dude.
Get out of there. Yeah, I will be putting on a Transformers one very soon. As soon as I get just a little bit more material, um, it will be interesting. Yes. Um, I mean, Dave's gonna play. I'm assuming Visor will be playing too. I don't know who else might be. If you want to join Migu, I wouldn't mind. We
I
can
have some knowledge on Transformers, so I wouldn't mind.
You'd be up on Visor then, because he's like the noob when it comes to Transformers. Whereas, like, yeah, Matrix and I were OGs. Like, we grew up on the original series, so
I didn't even know there were
But
comics for the longest time until
it's not more on
not
like
long ago.
I've seen a lot of Transformer shows or movies. It's more of I've been in enough D&Ds that are related to Transformers
Oh,
to
no, I
know.
might pick your brain for a few of those things that
So I
how it
know a
worked.
bit of stuff.
Because right
Nice.
now we're using the one manual I have, but I want to kind of up.
we'll cut the side of the VOD so it won't show up on YouTube.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. But that's the core rule book that we will be. At least I'm going to try and get. I want to look at because I have no idea what's in it. I'm getting a PDF of it as well, so I can actually have it digitally, so I can look at it and deal with it when I'm not at home, even. Because I really want to see it. Because there's some of the stuff I found is useful, some of it not so useful, and a lot of it confusing. Because a lot of it didn't make sense, and I didn't understand what they were trying to do. But the ones we're using is one we found. It seems to be the best one so far, and just adapting. Like you said, Migu, it's homebrew. A lot of it's going to be. This will be the only thing that. This thing, though, I think is more for you play the Autobots and fight the Decepticons, whereas, um, let me see, you could be mercenary, Decepticon, Autobot, and there's other factions in there that you can play as too. So, but
Luckily I know enough info on both sides.
yeah, so it's like you can play mercenary and play either side, as long as the money is good, right? Right? You know,
Yeah.
it's all about.
Now
the
you're speaking my language.
Yeah. See. So yeah.
Now we're cooking.
So yeah, that's what this is, and I'm gonna try and get a hold of it as soon. It should be hopefully in the next week or so. I might be getting it because this I paid for it in January, and it won't show up until I think they said at the end of March, beginning of April, actually. So I looked it all up.
So we got more content for you guys coming in the future. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's just I'm excited. First time DMing it myself, so we're gonna make mistakes. At least I'm gonna make a mistake a lot.
Welcome to my world, bitch. You know how many mistakes I've made? A lot. How
And
many more am I gonna make? A fuck ton more.
Same.
So yeah, we're gonna have fun with it. It's something I've been working on. I'm hoping to have. I have one map almost completely done. The rest I keep going back and having to add and change a few things because I finally get pictures for it and it's working out. It's just taking a little time with that. I'm hoping to have some maps that we can cohesively use and maybe input some stuff. But I'm trying to get also the player sheets to be more to like the D&D sheet because the one we have it's good for setting the character up, but the numbers and everything to try and play it would be a little difficult in my brain.
Yeah, it's
and I want it
from
simpler.
what we are looking at, it's a tad incomplete right now, but we're hoping once we get this book here, all those numbers are gonna get ironed out.
Yeah, and if not, well, the book's supposed to be pretty good, so at least but I heard. But we'll see. It'll be fun. We're just gonna wing it if we need to on some of it and make it make sense. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. I get to play
And
as Unicron. Oh wait.
At least I can help with some of the systems if you do need help.
I will be asking Megan because well, I mean, first time playing D&D, and then it'll be the first time ever DMing it. And I'm going to actually probably have my son help me with it on the side so I can iron out some stuff. because he's getting into his own thing of doing it, and I'm hoping that'll work out too. And who knows, I may eventually invite him in to play with us. We'll see. It just depends
Yeah,
on
that'd be
him.
great.
Because
Yeah.
get another player, and the only bad part is he gets to see everything on my screen if he sits right here.
I mean,
It's
you
like,
can set
no.
him up in his bedroom to do
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
campaign there, so he's got his own screen and such.
Well, and then he'd have his own icon, his own voice. Yeah, I might do that.
Exactly.
Because I can't exactly turn my desk. Oh, well, actually, I could. It's on wheels. So we'll have
Well,
fun
yeah,
with it, though.
but trust me, like the two microphones in the same room, like it
Uh,
catch both of you, it'd be a little awkward.
No, I just set this one up to pick up on both sides. That's that Yeti. It's that Yeti one.
the radial setting. I gotcha.
Yeah, it's got that knob, but my microphone is upside down to me, so that knob looks a little weird. Like volume is upside down. There is a mute button, but I just set it up for that if need be. But I like the idea of him having his own setup, so he's learning to stream on his own too. So this would give him a chance to do his own little thing as well.
Yeah.
But so we might end up with more players as we progress along. So
That's awesome.
and I mean, if Bork wants to join, that'd be great. Hopefully gonna have some ground rules on a lot of the characters. Dave and I have already been discussing his characters because it's always best to have more than one, just in case.
Oh
You
yeah.
never know. You never know. And I've got some big surprises, and I hope you guys will like them when I put them in, because I'm happy about doing these. So, but anyway, that's my project and a half, and some. Let's see if I don't go insane from work. So, yay! But anyway, everyone have a good night. Links are all over the place. Go bother Migu if you ever see him in a stream. Tell him to stream or something. No, I'm
You'll
kidding.
probably find
Don't.
him in Leader stream.
Yeah,
Leader Killer.
yeah. There you go. I need to put a link under your name now. It says go find Leader Killer and tell him to.
Free advertisement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll harass you.
I
through
would
other
almost ask if
Hey,
Leader
Leader.
would be interested in doing a D&D campaign.
I know he wants to get into it, but I don't think he can really.
Timing,
Ugh.
yeah, because I know he's pretty busy doing a full-time stream and working on top of that, and he's a busy boy.
Well, it's more
Yeah.
he wants to well, of course he wants to do something, official type kind of stuff. I know
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah, that makes sense though.
because he wants to do plain old fantasy stuff. Not anything of fancy.
Oh yeah, like original 5e. I get you. He wants to do
Yeah.
yeah.
It'd still be fun to try that out myself. Just
Yeah, I'd be too. It's just I don't want to DM that either.
no. I mean, I'm
No,
actually
but-
going to be since we have the starter kit because we got it from my son, but I also we ended up with another one. So I took it and I'm going to DM one for my wife and son with that, so that way I get a little practice in a little bit before too, which I should be starting soon with
Cool.
them. It's just trying to make time, and then other issues have come up. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of stuff going on. So, but yeah, all right, I'm gonna kill stream, and anybody who wants to see, go find it in YouTube. It'll be there.
Yep.
It'll actually be easier to watch there too, I think. So.
Thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye bye.
Peace.